WQ Memphis and W253 DF Memphis with Dave Woloshin weekday mornings from 10 to 11. It's time for Sports Time on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. The first hour of Sports Time is brought to you by Lexus of Memphis. Here are your hosts, Brett Stat Sportsworthy and Ryan Davis.
Welcome into Sports Time. Bryant and Brett with you live and local inside our Family Leisure Studios. Landon Schmidt producing. We're Sports Time. We're with you for the next 3 hours. A lot to get into. A lot of NBA news out there with the conference finals going on and some off-season rumors and everyone writing about the trades that could be made. So we got to talk NBA. A lot of news out of Destin at the SEC meetings. We'll talk about that as well. Day baseball with Major League Baseball getting underway on this Wednesday afternoon. So a lot to get to over the next 3 hours. But Brett, how are you this afternoon?
Brian, I'm doing well. There's a lot of afternoon baseball, and Bryant, Landon, flag the tape.
Okay.
Come September 20th, or end of the season for sure, this could be the most laughable thing I've ever seen.
All right, here we go.
Y'all ready?
I'm ready.
Flag the tape. 3:01 on the 28th of May. Cardinals only have 3 less wins than Dodgers.
Yeah, I don't, hey, it's May, Brett. It's May. I mean,
you almost asked me where am I hanging that banner.
Yeah. May baseball, and you got 3 less wins than the Dodgers. That's great. Like, it's awesome. I'm happy about it.
Big bad Dodgers in their payroll.
Big bad Dodgers.
Going to go undefeated. Going to win 140 games. Going to win 120 games.
That's right.
What if they don't win 100 games?
Well, that's a good
all
question.
Those good teams I was talking about yesterday, I think they'll end up getting around 100, 101 or so. Mm-hmm. But that season over and under that looked really small, I think it was 101 to go over. That looked like a sure thing. You just had to park your money and wait for it.
Yeah.
And not as sure after 2 months of ball.
Yeah, and pitching has been a big issue with injuries and everything for them. But hey, you might be getting Shohei back on the mound, which will be a whole nother
they've already
story.
lost to Cleveland today.
That's right. So maybe they're not as good as people assumed they were. Who knows? I think a lot's going to change for both the Dodgers and the Cardinals from now until the end of the regular season.
So you think it's going to be laughable?
Well, I do. I don't. I hope the Cardinals are as good as they're playing right now, but I'm not ready to believe it just quite yet. A lot of baseball to be played.
A lot of ball.
A lot of ball to be played, and so we'll see. But no, the day action has been fun today. Everywhere you look, there's a baseball game on this afternoon, so it has been fun. A lot more tonight, including the Cardinals and matchup again against the Baltimore Orioles. Got the win last night after losing the series opener on Monday. So Cardinals, they're rolling right now, and we'll see if they can continue that again tonight.
Playing pretty well. Now we talk about it. Everybody's around the 55 game mark.
Mm-hmm.
I know why they did it. It was extraordinary circumstances. And COVID only played a 60 game regular season.
It's crazy. Yeah, thankfully we're not doing that anymore.
And now with the value of hindsight, Manfred did not want to lose a game. Mm-hmm. He didn't want to start back any sooner than he did.
That's right. Yeah.
Because, it was going to be a huge economic hit. And when they started back was the choke point to get their TV money. Mm-hmm. That was the minimum amount to recoup some of that. Didn't even recoup all of that. But he wasn't going to get back any more starting June 1 than he did July 25th.
Right. Yeah. Oh, man. COVID times were weird, and certainly with baseball it was weird. But we'd be deep in the season if this was that year with the amount of games. But thankfully we're not doing that. Back to the long summers of Major League Baseball.
That's right. And today is one of those days. It's a lot of good matchups today.
Yeah, no, a lot of really good matchups, and some fun games. I was watching Detroit and the Giants earlier. Giants get up 3-0 early in that game. Tigers come storming back. So I mean, there's been some fun baseball being played early this afternoon. Fun basketball last night in Indiana with the Pacers. Kind of the first time it was kind of, all right, Pacers went out there, got the lead, and, kind of just did everything they needed to do, and nothing dramatic at the end, just got the win, and let's move on to the next game.
And Brian, it has been exciting. He is a really spectacular player. I'm talking about Jalen Brunson in this Knicks run. And the Knicks are a little bit prone to this. Almost anything gets them really jazzed up, maybe too much. But they did win 2 series. They did get to the Eastern Conference Finals. But let's slow way down on Jalen Brunson as the greatest Knickerbocker ever. Is he the best of the 21st century? I think we can say yes.
Sure.
As a Knick, I think he's better than Carmelo Anthony was as a Knick. He's not a better NBA player yet than the full walk of Carmelo Anthony's Hall of Fame career. But he sure could get there. I hope he does. I bet Carmelo Anthony says, I hope he does.
Sure.
And Jalen and Rick Brunson say they hope he does. Is he the best Knick since Patrick Ewing? Yeah. I think we can pretty much say that, but he's not better. Again, go to everything at Basketball Ref, every record they keep, Patrick Ewing has it. Points, rebounds, block shot, everything. I mean, it's clean sweep across the board. Right before that, Bernard King was that excellent of a player, and he just you got to win a title to be knocking off Bill Bradley and Earl the Pearl and Walt Frazier and Willis Reed and those guys. You got to win a championship. Now, I know to a lot of fans that seems like that seems like the American Revolution time in history. It is a long time ago. I recognize that. But if you've got reading skills above about the 8th grade, you ought to be able to know it. Is it that germane to now? Probably not. But let's don't be so heat of the moment because the guys had a really good New York Knicks career and good spring this year. Let's don't be knocking off the legends for him because you don't want to read about it or you're not interested in it.
Well, Brad, I think you're forgetting what fan base you're talking about. Yeah, this is New York.
This is the Jeremy Lin fan base.
Everything is bigger times a million, and so no, it does not surprise me that we are where we're at with the Jalen Brunson chatter and is he the greatest? Should we retire his jersey already? Because that is what that fandom is. They haven't had anything like this in forever, and we know when they get excited, it's not just we're getting excited. It's we're taking over the world with our excitement, and I think that's what we're seeing right now.
It was local New York show, and I'm not sure who is Boomer Esiason's co-host.
Gio. I don't know I can't remember his last name, but it's Gio. Yeah, it's Boomer.
I swear, I think the caller was a setup call.
Oh, I'm sure.
And
positive.
And he called in and said that he is among the Mount Rushmore of the Big Four of all-time New York athletes. And they all started laughing at him and pick him. Yeah, that would encompass Babe Ruth.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, that's right.
I mean, never mind Derek Jeter, Mariano Rivera, Reggie Jackson.
Yeah. I mean, it might have been
Joe
a setup caller.
For that matter, Eli Manning.
Yeah.
Michael Strahan.
I wouldn't put it past some of these New York fans of saying that and actually believing it.
That had to be a setup call, didn't it?
Maybe anywhere else, I'd say absolutely. New York, I really don't know. At this point, I really don't know what's real and what's fake when it comes to just New York sports. Greg Giannotti is his name. That's Gio. They call him Gio, shortened for his last name. Boomer Gio.
He's real loud.
Extremely. But it could have been about 50-50 if you're asking me, was that a setup or not? 50-50. But Knicks played well last night. It was just
is he in a top 100 of all-time New York athletes?
I I would say yes.
Whew.
But more of what this
You know that when
is
he's up
right
at Mark
now.
Messier in '94 champions.
I do. But I think he would be in there for
Okay.
bringing this back to New York. You know, I think that in and of
I
itself
really
would
believe
get there.
it'd be horribly boring, but I really believe before we got to the first break, I could come up with 25 Yankees.
Oh, I'm sure. But I don't know. The New York feels different right now with where the Knicks are. And
I think you come up with
Jalen
10
Brunson's
Mets.
yeah. I mean, hey, it's a lot up there. I mean, you go through Yankees, Mets,
That's 35.
Knicks. I mean, the New York hockey. I mean, that's a lot encompassed in there.
Got
for,
5 Knicks. That's 40.
yeah, that's
Dr.
right.
J is a net.
That's true. Yeah. Yeah, I'm not going to bore everyone with
Do
the
you
top,
bring
the
in
top
Islanders?
100.
You bring in Mike Bossy?
You could, yeah. I mean,
Okay.
I guess you could.
I think I'm around 50 then
guess
with,
you could put that
with
in there.
Islanders Devils, wouldn't you?
Sure, yeah.
And that's not even thinking about it.
Yeah, it's just spitballing. So yeah, I say let's call in Boomer and Gio and ask them. We'll ask them if he's in the top 100.
What time? We ought to do it like no. I don't know if they're
It's very
on it
early.
right now.
No, they're very early in the
real
morning. So
You know what? I think he probably is in 100
I think so. I think in top 100. I think he's in there.
because we got to 50 quick, but
But then
we're
I feel
running
like
out.
It falls off a cliff at some point. It's got to.
I think we probably could force it to 70. I think
Sure.
he is in 100. Yeah.
He might be like 98, but like
Yeah.
he's in. I think he's in the top 100. But
Head of John Starks.
sure, I mean, he's ahead of a lot. Like in the history of New York sports, he's ahead of a lot of people.
Yeah.
But he's also behind a lot of people. But no, that was a fun one last night. Brunson was good. 31 points. Got 12 free throw attempts, which I know that along with SGA has been a big topic of conversation. But on the other side, it was Tyrese Halliburton and his triple-double. Pops in attendance, allowed back for home games.
I like Mr. Halliburton.
Oh, man, he is
He didn't need
he's
to
a
get in
character.
Giannis's face.
No, that was
He's
over the
proud
top.
of his son.
He is, but, there's a line, and I think he crossed it. But
He probably did.
I like it. Hey, up there in a box, get them all the. I don't know. I know at FedEx Forum, it's the chicken tenders. I don't know what they've got up there. In
Some boxes, it's more than that.
it sure is the ones. The ones I've been fortunate enough to get.
Yeah.
All we get is the chicken tenders and popcorn.
Not bad, though, are they?
Oh, I love the chicken tenders at FedEx Forum. But no, I don't know what they have up in Indiana. Get him whatever the meal is for the boxes. Have them in a box and let him have a good time. I'm all for
Except
it.
for the place with the great shrimp cocktail. Does Indianapolis have a go-to food like chili
I have no clue.
in Cincinnati and barbecue in Memphis? And
I'm not
Chowder in
well
Boston?
versed with
I don't know
what's
either.
going on.
I've never
in
been to
Indiana.
Indianapolis.
I haven't either. So I'm not well versed with that state as a whole. Certainly not with that city. But they've got a good
I've
basketball
never
team,
been to
that's
the
all I know.
state. I'm going to cross through the state for the first time ever
right.
this fall.
All right, you make
Going
a pit
from
stop.
St. Louis to Lexington.
Wow. Okay. Make a pit stop. Find out. Go into a gas station. Ask what's
It's a little out of the way.
What's Indiana
I
known
looked.
for, and and then go and try
I wanted
it.
to see the Speedway, and it's
Oh,
way
yeah.
out of the way.
Well, yeah, that usually is how it goes. But that would be a fun trip to go. There is a lot of things to do in Indianapolis, so it would be a
Did you
fun
did
trip.
you even remember the Indianapolis 500 was on Sunday?
Not till it was over, and I started seeing people post it that it was. Well, I knew it was happening, then I forgot about it, and then I knew when people were posting who won about it.
That was a big moment of the 70s to watch that kind of on Sunday night on Wide World of Sports or
Yeah.
ABC. That was a big thing.
Yeah, it's not.
It was
it's
a
not
very
really
70s
anymore.
thing.
Yeah, I was about to say. I don't think, but I did see. I feel like I read something that it got pretty good ratings.
Got a great
as whole.
rating.
Yeah, but I was not one of
crushed
the
it.
ones. That's good.
First year on Fox.
Good for them. But I was not. I was not one of the people.
Speaking
tuned
of
in.
ratings, and we're told all the time that soccer's coming. Soccer's
Mm-hmm.
coming. I've been hearing soccer's coming since Pele came to the United States. Soccer's coming.
Been a while.
And we get all the premier games,
Mm-hmm.
and about every 28-year-old can tell you everything about
Sure.
the Premier League and how it's knocking off baseball. So I looked up, what their TV ratings averaging?
I
Try to
have
guess.
not even a guess. I have no clue.
What would you think? It gets a lot of pop, doesn't it?
Oh yeah, I mean,
And
I would,
it is a fascination I'm gonna stereotype and characterize it among private school youngsters.
Sure.
They love them some Tottenham. They love them some Chelsea. They love them some. What was the one that won a few years ago? It was a big upset.
Arsenal? I don't know. I'm just naming some now. I want to see how many you can name. I was enjoying this game.
Manchester.
Oh, we got two Manchesters,
United.
Brett. Oh, there you go, man. You. And then you got Man City.
Leicester City. They loved them some Leicester City a few years ago.
Sure did.
Just the grooviest thing going in baseball. So passe. Golf even more passe. So with all that buzz, what do you think?
I would assume it's pretty good, but I really have no idea of a guess.
Millions?
I'd say low millions. Really? Wow.
About 600,000 to 800,000.
Okay, I was thinking around like maybe 1.5. But
you know what else is averaging around 600,000 to 800,000?
Baseball.
The UFL.
Ooh. Yeah, well, that's not, love me some showboats, Brett, but.
And boy, we'll get some Leicester City.
I don't think that's the grouping you want to be a part of. Well,
Liverpool and all those.
I like this. I like this game, Brett. I don't know if we can do this the rest of the show. Just seeing how many Premier League teams you can name. You're on a roll right now. I mean, you're naming more than
Chelsea.
I thought you were going to be able to. Chelsea, it's a great one.
Well, see, I know some of them from when we had the NASL here, and I was a big fan of the Rogues.
Yeah,
I don't mind soccer.
Yeah,
I don't mind soccer. I don't want soccer guy in my face telling me that baseball's dead.
Of course not.
I don't want soccer guy in my face telling me that baseball's boring.
It's crazy.
Are you kidding me? You're going to lecture anybody about something boring?
It's insane.
When a blowout's 2-1, and we're lucky the stadium didn't get burned down.
Well, Brett, part of me is actually surprised you don't love soccer more because of how big ties are. Draws, I guess we should call them. But you love a good tie.
Well, I do like a tie. You're right about a draw. But I love the Rogues. Went to the Rogues. I was at the Rogues' #1 night ever when they defeated the Cosmos without Pele, 1-0 on the Tony field goal late in the game. John Huska in the goal for the Rogues. About 35,000 at the Liberty Bowl. Wow. It wasn't any more than that. I was there. I can tell you exactly. It was not packed. It was a good crowd. One of the bigger crowds. The last 6 minutes of the contest, the whole crowd chanting "Huska, Huska." It was great. It was fun. It's a lot of fun. I liked them a lot, and I knew a lot of those names of those teams because that's where they were trying to draw players from, really good players.
Really? Interesting. I did not know that. Huh. Didn't know we were going to be talking soccer.
What was his first name? The last name was Smiley. My friend Chuck Galena would know because he loves it a lot more than I do. His last name was Smiley. It was a big get to get him.
That's awesome.
I can't remember his first name.
That's great. I didn't know we were going to get into soccer today. I didn't know we were going to start naming Premier League teams. But that was fantastic, Brett. I give you an A+ for effort at the very least.
Very friendly scoring.
Very friendly, but I'll give it to you. More than I thought you were going to be able to name.
A show that we normally don't give pluses and minuses.
Certainly don't. But I will give it an A+ for effort at the very least because you did get more than I thought.
Is there a Dagenham?
Maybe in a lower division. Okay. I'm not familiar with that.
I probably just wrecked my whole grade.
Well, I was about to say you might be going down to like a C with that. You know, you're doing so good, Brett, and then you just
and then there's Bundesliga.
Oh man. Well,
which one is Bayern Munich?
That's Bundesliga. That's in Germany. That's
okay.
right. That's right. Yeah. So this is why are we doing the show on a Wednesday? It's a Friday afternoon show at 4:00 when Bruce Marshall joins us.
Well, it is. And last year at SEC Media Days, I introduced them and they hit it off great. And I'm in the middle of it, and I was about to black out listening to Bruce talk to Neil McCready about it. They both love it and can talk it to the end of time. I'm in between, and I almost blacked out.
Turned into a football conversation at Football Media Days. Two different footballs. I mean, how about that? But did not think we were going there. But that was fun. A+ again for Brett and his effort. Well, we got a busy show today. Let me set it up before we get to top and not top story of the day. 3:30, Vince Ferrara from WNML in Knoxville. He'll join us. A lot to get to with Vince as the Volunteers. They are hosting a regional this weekend in Knoxville. We'll talk UT baseball. We'll also talk SEC news from Destin. It feels like every single couple hours you look and there is some sort of quote out there from someone at SEC.
Done.
Nothing done. Of course not. I mean, isn't this This is like the story of SEC meetings. It's all
gets
these quotes,
nothing
it's everything.
accomplished.
Nothing gets done. But
If
the quotes are
it's
good.
tug of war, the tape hadn't moved a centimeter.
No, it's like early in the tug of war where like both teams like really just trying to feel each other out.
Kinda
So it'll go like a little this
down
way
in the sand.
and then a little this way, but it's like it's right there still in the middle, and you're like, oh, this team's kind of got it, this team's kind of got it, but
Like
they're just
Battle of
still
the Network
there.
Stars.
Exactly. It's just nothing.
Somebody
gets done.
yank that tape and move it.
Yeah, but I don't know. I hope we get something going on. But it's just been a lot of quotes so far. But they've been good quotes down in Destin. We'll talk to Vince Ferrara about that in our next segment. 3:45, we'll talk NBA playoffs. We'll break down what happened last night. The Pacers, a 130-121 win over the Knicks. Tonight, we've got Game 5 between OKC and Minnesota. We'll talk a little bit about that as well. Thunder, an opportunity to clinch their spot in the NBA Finals. 4 o'clock, John Gowen from Timber Trust. He'll join us. We'll talk golf and make our weekly picks. Just a quick story here. Over the weekend, I did not watch much golf. I was just going to be completely honest, but I was somewhere. They had the golf on Sunday afternoon. Ben Griffin is tapping in his winning putt to win the entire tournament. And I'm sitting there going, man, nobody had Ben Griffin in our group. I wonder who did well this weekend. I had him. I had no idea. When I was watching, had no clue. Completely forgot.
As second pick, one double.
That's right. Had no idea. Completely forgot that I had picked Ben Griffin. Watching him sink the putt, I'm like, man, if only I had picked Ben Griffin. Sure enough, I picked Ben Griffin.
You've had him twice.
Have I really? Wow. Also didn't know that. It's news to me. So,
you had him when he won in New Orleans in the team competition.
Right. How about that? Well, teams, I wasn't just focused on him. It's a team game, Brett. There's no I in team, so I wasn't really focused on Ben Griffin as an individual. But we'll talk a lot of golf at 4 o'clock. 4:30, we'll talk baseball. 4:45, big number of the day. 5 o'clock, Rob Fisher from the Grizzlies FanDuel Sports Network. He'll join us. We'll talk NBA and the Grizzlies with him. 5:30, we'll get to what's trending. And at 5:45, we'll wrap up today's show like we always do with Crunch Time. Let me remind you, in our Family Leisure studios, where family and fun come together, it's pool time, and Family Leisure is already booking pool installs for 2025. Buy now and get on the list for your pool installation. 2024 pool starting at $19.99 installed, with liners starting at $299, and right now, all pool accessories up to 20% off. 5 to 6 person hot tubs starting at $69.99, and swim spas and cold plunge tubs now $2,000 off. Don't forget about patio furniture. Select sets now up to 50% off. And if you mention this ad, get free installation only at Family Leisure, 2120 Whitten Road, just north of I-40.
He's Brian. I'm Brett. We're Sports Time. We're with you till 6 o'clock. We want you to be a part of our show by texting or calling 901-360-8255. No setup calls here like on Boomer and Geo. Landon Schmidt, our producer, he feels all those.
That's
Make
right.
sure no setup calls occur. We're with you to 6. We want you to join us on the Sissy's Log Cabin talk and text line at 901-360-8255. That same number is where all our guests will join us on the Sissy's Log Cabin guest line. Always in our Family Leisure studios, and it's that time of year for Family Leisure, isn't it? With summer really starting to hit. And this hour brought to you every day by Lexus of Memphis. They're at 2600 Ridgeway, and they're online at lexusofmemphis.com. Great offers on all 2025 models and always special leasing options. Drive in luxury and confidence knowing that every new Lexus comes with complimentary first and second maintenance services. Call them at 901-334-9673, but they invite you to stop by the only Lexus dealership in Memphis at 2600 Ridgeway, and put yourself in the driver's seat of the all-new 2025 flagship LS500. And you'll be looking and you'll be driving in style. When you purchase a Lexus, you get top-of-the-line engineering and design, and they make for the safe luxury driving experience. Online at lexusofmemphis.com. Experience amazing at Lexus of Memphis.
Top story of the day.
Well, my top story of the day, it is the NBA Conference Finals. Last night, the Pacers get a 130-121 win over the New York Knicks. It got started with a 43-point first quarter by the Indiana Pacers. Knicks bounced back, looked pretty good in the second and third quarter. Late in that third quarter, Pacers went on a run and really never looked back. But it was a really good game by both teams. Both teams played really well. It was just the Pacers that did enough. Tyrese Halliburton was fantastic, a triple-double in his father's first game back from his suspension from going to his son's games. 32 points, 12 rebounds, 15 assists. One of my favorite numbers from last night. Tyrese Halliburton in last night's game, 15 assists, 0 turnovers. On the other side, the New York Knicks as an entire team only had 2 more assists than Tyrese Halliburton, finished with 17 assists and finished with 17 turnovers. So an unbelievable performance by Tyrese Halliburton. The Pacers now a commanding 3-1 lead as they go back to Madison Square Garden. On the other side, in the West, Game 5 tonight, the Thunder with an opportunity at home to wrap up this series and have some downtime before the NBA Finals starts. They have looked like the better team really the entire postseason, but they've also looked like the better team in this series. Minnesota has played well, but the depth and just the talent that OKC has just lifted them above this Timberwolves team. We'll see if they can get it done tonight and win that series 4-1, but I am a little surprised both these series sitting at 3-1 right now.
Yeah, I am too. I thought we'd get better ball than this, but we haven't. Maybe we'll get a great finals. It's been good to now, and we could have some real downtime before that set firm date that's not movable, and it won't be moved by the NBA before we get started in the NBA Finals. My top story, historic triple-double by Tyrese Halliburton, puts the Pacers 1 win away from their second trip ever to the NBA Finals. Lost in the NBA Finals in 2000 with Larry Bird as head coach. Larry Bird was on his way to being that superstar that was a great coach. There hadn't been many, very, very few. You can count about one hand. He was on his way, but it wasn't enough for him. And the travel and his back and all that. But the competition wasn't enough for him. Those great ones, they don't want to watch. They want to play. They lost in the NBA Finals in 2000, but they did win 3 ABA titles with Slick Leonard, what an ABA name, as head coach. And now we're really close to the Smallville Finals of Indiana versus Oklahoma City, and it should make every Grizzlies fan irritated about what is being played out in these Smallville Finals. We're having the Smallville Finals, and we're not in it.
Wow.
We thought we would be in it. We're having the Smallville Finals with 2 superstars, SGA and Halliburton, and they're both so clearly better than Ja the Magnificent, and that is irritating.
It sure is going to be the Smallville Finals if we get what it looks like we're getting with OKC and Indiana.
Not top story of the day.
Well, my not top story of the day today is decision day for players that are entering the NBA draft that retained their college eligibility. The big ones that have come out today, Adu Thiero from Arkansas, he has decided to stay in the draft. But Tahad Pettiford, the great freshman point guard at Auburn, he has decided to return to Auburn. Auburn also got a big-time Serbian big man, Filip Jovic, who has been really good overseas, one of the best international prospects, got that commitment earlier this morning. So a big day for Auburn. But I saw this nugget earlier, and it really jumped out to me. Front Office Sports posted this about an hour ago. The 2025 NBA draft has its fewest early entrants in a decade. It's less than a third of the early entrants the year before the NIL era began. Pre-NIL in the 2021 draft, they had 363 early NBA draft entrants in 2021. This year, only 106. So it seems like guys are saying, if I can go back and make NIL money and, go Todd Pettiford, a guy that could have been maybe a late first round, early second round guy, but is probably going to go back, make about $2 million at Auburn. I'm going to just go back, get better, and make all this money at Auburn, and then I'll try my luck at the NBA draft. So a big day as we figure out what a lot of these rosters will look like for next season in college basketball.
But here's potentially a big one for Auburn. Senator Tommy Tuberville is coming home to run for an open gubernatorial seat. He'll win in a landslide. Many are trying to talk Bruce Pearl into running for that open United States Senate seat. He would win in a landslide.
He absolutely would. That's just crazy. But you're right.
Isn't
He would
that
win.
something?
Oh, it's crazy.
Who knew coaching down on the plains was the
what did he do for you?
The United States Senate.
Who knew? That pipeline's incredible.
Doug Barfield, Shoke Jordan.
Oh, man.
Brian Harsin. Could that all gone to the Senate?
I don't know about Brian Harsin. That might have been drawing the line.
My not top story, at least some in the SEC are with me, notably Kirby Smart and Lane Kiffin. I had no idea both of them were for this. Either one of them were for this, but they're with me. They want 16 teams, and they want 16 at-larges. Rank them however it falls. If you have more one year, fine. If you don't, fine. And I'm all for that. I want nothing to do with automatic qualifiers, whether it's 1 from this league or 4 from that league. It is the softest thing the SEC has ever been associated with. You can hate the SEC all you want. I'm sure there's plenty of good reasons out there for many too. I'm sure you can detest it. You can't say it's ever been soft. You never can. But trying to have this slotting, this automatic qualifying for 4, that is the softest thing the SEC has ever proposed. It's embarrassing to be associated with it, wanting that. Meritocracy should always prevail, and a competent college football playoff committee. We have to have that. We have to have 2 things. We have to have meritocracy, and we have people that can recognize it. We know Ward Manuel and Hunter Yurachek couldn't. So we got to get the committee better.
Yeah.
But never have slotting.
No. But it was good to see a couple of the coaches say, hey, let's just do it 1 to 16, the best teams in there, and let's just play it out, because that is the logical way to do it. Well, that'll do for top and not top story of the day. Let's get to our first break, and when we return, we're talking UT baseball and the SEC with Vince Ferrara.
We are real sports talk. Sports 56 WHBQ. Available on your radio dial at 560 AM and 98.5 FM, as well as around the world online at sports56whbq.com. Take us with you everywhere by downloading the Sports 56 app. And at home, just say, Alexa, play Sports 56. Sports Sports 56 and 95 FM. June is always a month of celebration. People are getting married. People are graduating. And those people need somewhere to do their celebrating. And we offer up Bell Tavern. Now, this is perfect downtown bar. You could take your group to a chain restaurant or bar, but those places don't have a tenth of the charm of Bell Tavern. Chains are sterile and impersonal. Bell Tavern is a cool oasis for most places. Signature cocktails, ice-cold beer, and the friendliest staff in town. This is a chance for you to show off your knowledge of Memphis, to impress out-of-towners by taking them to the coolest bar they've been to in a long time. Unless, of course, they go to Bell Tavern.
Hi, this is Troy Five-Ash, owner of Five-Ash Roofing. Did you know there are so many roofing companies in Memphis that I don't even know them all? So that begs the question, which one should you choose? So I thought I'd give you a little background about me. My grandfather was a World War II Marine. My father worked for the University of Memphis for nearly 30 years. My mother, a pianist at Raleigh Baptist Church. Seems like forever. I went to Brownsville Road, Craigmont, and Bartlett High School, class of 81. We support the local school systems, youth athletics, and believe in what St. Jude and Le Bonheur stand for. I'm a Tiger and Grizz fan. The point? Memphis is my home. Five-Ash Roofing will be around if you ever have a problem with the service we provide. Five-Ash Roofing, fair, honest, and ethical, with deep local ties in our community. 367-0050 or memphisroofer.com.
Five-Ash Roofing is what we do. We're here for you.
Spring is in the air, and it's the perfect time to grill, chill, and save with Choates. Install a new generator, tankless water heater, or Carrier HVAC system, and you'll get your choice of a free green egg grill or 36 months no-interest financing. Stay powered during storms, enjoy endless hot water, and slash your cooling costs this summer with a high-efficiency Carrier system, and grill some slow-smoke barbecue on us. But hurry, this special ends soon. And if you're dealing with plumbing or electrical problems, Choates is here for you too. Give us a try and take $60 off your repair. Leaky faucet, clogged drain, broken outlet, lights flickering? Call Choates and save $60 on your plumbing or electrical repair service. Call 347-8086 or visit ChoatesHVAC.com today. And remember, Choates, let our family serve your family.
Telling me earlier, Volkswagen has the lower cost of maintenance across 24, 25 lineups compared to 24 Toyota or Honda, so it's obviously the smarter choice. So get on over to Gossett Volkswagen German Manchester Road or shop online. GossipDWG.com. And be sure to ask for Marty McMahon.
You got that right, Randy. So come see us at Gossett Volkswagen Germantown. And remember, your future is what you make it.
Now, back to Sports Time on Sports Business. This hour is brought to you by Lexus Service. Here are your hosts, Let's Talk Sports with Brian Davis.
Welcome back into Sports Time. Bryant and Brett with you live and local inside our Family Leisure Studios. Joining us now from WNML in Knoxville, Vince Ferrara joins us. Vince, thanks so much for joining us. A lot to get to, but let's start with the baseball side of things. Tennessee baseball hosting a regional this weekend. Another really solid season for the Volunteers. What did you make of the season as a whole, and what do you expect to see from this team in postseason play?
Well, honestly, they started out the year, and it was unbelievable how fast they got out of the gate as a defending national champion. Defending champions a lot of times don't even make the postseason. We've seen it with great SEC teams, and they struggle the year after, much less Tennessee getting out of the gate so hot in non-conference, and then even in conference as well when they got to 10-1. But then they hit the skids a little bit. They didn't get swept in any series, but they lost their last 5 SEC series in 6 of their last 7, including 4 straight home series, which is just hard to fathom with as many wins as this team had and as good, as dominant as they've been at home under Tony Vitello. They only lost 4 total games at home last year, much less 4 series. So they lost to some teams that just were not up to their level. In Texas A&M, who didn't make the postseason, and then Kentucky as well, who slid in, but they were a below 500 team. So really, that's been the storyline. It's the struggles for a while for Tennessee being able to win those rubber matches of games. So they had to replace a lot from last year, and you thought that it would be okay with as fast as they came out of the gate. But then, when it hit it, when they had struggles, that continued consistently. But full body of work, so I think they absolutely earned a regional host. And winning the 2 games in Hoover were critical. The committee showed that they valued what happened in the SEC tournament. I mean, look at, obviously, Vanderbilt and getting to the number 1 national seed, Ole Miss, who maybe was on the outside looking in to host the regional, and they hopped all the way to 10. So they put a lot of stock in that single elimination format in Hoover, and Tennessee was impressive in wins over Alabama, and then even more so against Texas before the dud 10-0 run rule shutout against Vanderbilt. So, fans, I think are they don't know what to expect from this team that has had some issues defensively. Their bullpen hasn't been as dominant as we saw last year, despite having a bunch of arms. And then timely hitting as well. At times it's there, at times it's not. So just a kind of an unknown entity despite another 40-plus win season for Tony Vitello.
Vince, that is a really good, very fair. It's accurate. That's the best points to make about teams that have won it all that don't even get back. This is the first time Mississippi State has been back to the College World Series since winning it all in 2021, and they're doing it with a interim head coach. And this is the first time since Ole Miss won it all in 2022 for them to be going to the tournament. So the full body of work, the full range of what Tony Vitello has done, I think should be appreciated. But does it feel like it's really in play to maybe not repeat, but get back to Omaha?
I don't know. I think it's possible. Because you just never know what happens on the other side, the Fayetteville regional. Now, I think fans would be skeptical if Tennessee has to play Arkansas in a super regional in Fayetteville. If there's an upset there, and Tennessee gets to host a regional, and say it's Kansas or Creighton, and you get to play them at home, then that changes things for Tennessee fans. So I think that would be their window of optimism. But I think fans have been frustrated with this team, and look, that comes with two things. One, the high standard that now exists for this baseball program, which used to have no standards before Tony Vitello got here. And then the other thing is, this happens all across college baseball and a number of other sports, and you guys know this, is the football mentality. And they've brought in so many new fans. A lot of fans that are newer to the game of baseball look at games, look at results as like a football Saturday. Like, this is ruining our season. We've got to make changes. In baseball, like basketball, is not a sport like that. And look, I mentioned this on our show. The single elimination portion of the NCAA tournament, of a tournament of the season, is gone. Now, if you lose, it becomes single elimination. But everything from the regional to the super regionals to the College World Series, you can lose and still win your way out of that. And that's, for an inconsistent team, that may be the route they have to take. But I think that would be the only way there would be optimism for fans, for them to get back to Omaha, is if it opens up on the other side.
Mm-hmm. Speaking of football, spring meetings going on down in Destin for the SEC. A lot of talk right now, not only in the SEC, but around college football, about what the playoff bracket, the playoff format could look like after next season. What do you make of them changing this upcoming season to straight seeding and some of these proposed formats post next year?
Well, love the straight seeding. I mean, a lot of us thought that this would be an issue when they first announced it, right? Because you knew there was going to be some conference champions, group of five, or lower end Power Four that were going to be outside the top 12, and we're going to take up a bye spot over teams that were better than them. So that played out, and nobody wanted that. And look, Greg Sankey even spent time talking about it. He even referenced Tennessee. Alabama, getting left out, and then Texas, being the, what should have been, based on their ranking, they should have been or would have been one of the top four and getting a bye. Instead, they had to play the first weekend. And reference Tennessee, where based on their ranking, would have earned a home playoff game, which many people felt like they should have had over Ohio State, and they did not. And so they had to go on the road. So Sankey used some of those examples and said it was a unanimous vote. So that standpoint, I think it's definitely the right thing. As far as the different formats, I thought it was fascinating to hear Greg Sankey talk about it as much as he did. And a lot of us have thought, and I felt like as well, that I don't think these big conferences should be guaranteed automatic berths into the playoffs. You're so darn good, you're going to get enough teams in there. You shouldn't have to be guaranteed spots to get into the playoffs. So, and obviously the other conferences don't want that. So there's that dynamic of it. But Greg Sankey basically turned it back on the media, saying, "Well, if you guys would dig in the numbers, you could see that us being limited to four, that could cost us some positions. Because last year they would have gotten 6 in if they would have had an open rankings system, like the 5 plus 11 format that some are talking about now as a possibility. The 5 conference champions, the top 5 conference champions, and then 11 at large. I'm fine with that. I think it should be the best 16 teams. Now, I don't know about what Lane Kiffin's proposing, just the 16 highest rated. Because I don't think they'll do that, because then it makes your conference competition null and void. Nobody's going to.
Vince, are you there? Did we lose you? think we might have lost Vince there at the tail end. That's all right. We were about out of time with him. We'll catch back up with him again. Landon, make sure that we didn't get him and that we can wrap up with him. But kind of like what he was saying, I mean, there are definitely a lot of options out there for college football, and I guess we'll see which one they ultimately decide on.
Yeah, he didn't say quite what I did in the first segment about it being soft, but he was close.
Sure.
And I think that's the overwhelming sentiment from a lot of people who've watched the SEC and love it for a long time. It doesn't need a foot in the door. If you can't kick that door in, then you're not the big bad SEC.
Yeah, no, you definitely aren't. I mean,
and he talked about how close last year, and I mentioned it yesterday. Now, it wasn't 3 plays, but it was 2 plays. You take a play from the Ole Miss Kentucky game, and you can't do this. Kentucky fair and square won. But you change 1 play, and you change the flip field in LSU, South Carolina. That's 2 more last year with just 12.
That's right.
Now, Oklahoma really thoroughly handled Alabama.
Yeah, that's right. No, I mean, it's
in one of the worst Alabama performances
Sure.
since Dennis Franchione was coach.
Yeah, I mean, I think like you said, and we talked about it yesterday. I mean, there were ways for those teams to get into the tournament or into the playoffs last year, and they just didn't win those games. And so, I think we will get a good format to figure this out, and they certainly need to come up with one soon. Well, we need to get to a break, and then when we return, we're going to talk some NBA playoffs. Pacers, they get the win yesterday over the Knicks. We'll talk about that and more next on Sports Time.
Looking for sports in all the wrong places. Try the Owner's Box Sports Bar and Grill in Lakeland's Town Square. Fun, exciting, friendly, and comfortable. Wall-to-wall TVs, 24 taps for all your beers, including $3 domestic and $5 craft pints on Mondays, Monday through Friday, 3 to 6 happy hour. Music bingo Tuesdays, daily special hour. Owner's Box Sports Bar and Grill, Lakeland's Town Square. Highway 70. Check those out for daily special weekend music at the Owner's Box. Pools, and more pools, yes! It is pool time at Family Leisure. Family Leisure is already booking pool installs, so you need to buy now and get on that list. 24-foot pools start at $19.99 install. Liners are starting at $2.99. You're going to need some pool accessories, so they're all up to 20% off. Not quite ready for a pool? That's fine. Get a 5 or 6 person hot tub starting at under $7,000. You can also go for a swim spa or perhaps a cold plunge tub. Those are now $2,000 off. Get patio furniture up to 50% off on select sets. Buy your pool now. Get on that install list. Mention this commercial, and your install is free. It's underlined in the in-bold print, so you know it's big. It's pool time at Family Leisure. Family Leisure. Whitten Road at I-40. Where family and fun come together. I'm Gary York. I'm the service director of Lexus in Memphis. Our service department wants to be more than just a place where you get your oil changed. We do glass repair, windshield replacement, recalibration of your camera and sonar systems, even wheel repair, tire replacement, all the things you would expect from a luxury automotive dealer. Please check out our website. You can schedule your appointment, check out our specials, hours of operation, or if you'd like to do it in person, please reach out to one of our associates at 912715199.
Visit Frontier Western Store today for new shirts and boots. Frontier is your top Carhartt store in the Mid-South. There's thousands of in-stock shirts and jeans. They have the classic K87 pocket tee in every color they make, including new ones just released. Available small to 4X. Want new jeans? Frontier has you covered with super tough work in them by Carhartt. And you've got to check out their selection of Ariat jeans for men, women, and children. You'll love how easy it is to find the size and style you need. Have you seen Frontier's remodeled world-famous boot showroom? It continues to expand. New styles by Ariat just arrived, plus plenty of in-stock proven classics too. Whether you need work or dress boots, trust that Frontier's the place to come. See thousands of pairs of Ariat boots and thousands more by Dan Post, Corral, Durango, Rocky, Twisted X, and others. And Frontier's pricing is lower than online and chain stores, so you know just the local shop to visit. Frontier Western Store, 5880 Goodman Road in Olive Branch, and on the web at frontierwesternstore.com. Locally owned and operated since 1967.
Now, back to Sports Time on Sports 56. This hour is brought to you by Lexus Service. Here are your hosts, Let's Talk Sports with Brian Davis.
Welcome back into Sports Time. Brian Brett with you live and local inside our Family Leisure Studios. We got to talk the NBA playoffs, and last night, Pacers, kind of in a sense, it was only a 9-point win, but it felt like a cruise to victory for the Pacers, the way that this series has gone, the way that really the entire playoffs have gone for both the Knicks and the Pacers. Yeah, they probably should have, but, Knicks get that one when coming back from 20. That's kind of been the whole thing. Knicks have now played, this is the second series in a row where the Knicks were not the best team on the court. They just went out there and had these massive comebacks. They did it against Boston. They're able to advance. And then they did it in one game here against Indiana. And we'll see. I mean, Knicks are going to win this series. But Knicks have played well. I mean, you got to give them credit throughout this entire playoffs. They've never given up. They've never, thrown in the towel. They fight till the end, and it's gotten them this far. But it feels like this could be the end of the road.
It does. And, again, they've had a great year. Mm-hmm. But have they really done anything this year that they can build on and next year at playoff time advance more? Will they advance more to go to the finals? Mm-hmm. I don't think they have. You look back at it. I won't say lucky, mm-hmm. but really fortunate, and the whole seasoning thing with Detroit.
Yeah.
I will say lucky against Boston.
For sure. For sure. I mean, no question about it. I mean, they were absolutely lucky against them.
Sometimes you have to have it. Mm-hmm. And if you advance, it counts. It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Don't draw pictures.
Mm-mm. No.
But I don't see anything they're doing this spring that's translatable to next spring.
Yeah, it's a good question. I mean,
in the East, it'll be very different next spring.
Right, yeah, and that's the thing. Next year might be the anomaly of a year because of how different the East could look. But
that could be a Detroit or Orlando.
No, it definitely could. I mean, with the injuries to Boston, seems like maybe the Bucks going to make a change.
Or will Indiana be a behemoth?
Yeah, and they with their
I don't
their
think
roster.
So. Do you? Does it look and feel like behemoth to you?
I don't know about behemoth, but I mean, this is now back-to-back years they've been in the Eastern Conference Finals. I mean, they are super deep. I leave the salary stuff and all of that to people that are way smarter than me. So I don't know exactly like what they have to do, but I'm pretty sure they're bringing back a bulk of this roster, and so this
pretty
is
manageable.
Yeah, I mean, this feels like a group that could be around here. I don't want to say powerhouse of the East or anything, but it feels like I would not be surprised at all if they're back in the Eastern Conference Finals next year.
And one thing that we will do, and I'm sorry, but they just got to understand that it's part of it. We won't take Cleveland seriously all year.
Right, yeah.
They can be winning and on their way to another 60-win season. Show me.
Yeah, and that's the unfortunate thing with Cleveland because all season long we were talking about this just incredible season. I mean, the best Cleveland teams we've seen without LeBron James ever, and they were so good. And then you get to the postseason, they just completely lay an egg. So you're right. I mean, you got it. It's gonna be great. I mean, they could go undefeated in the regular season next year, and everyone's still gonna say, "Do it in the playoffs." Yeah, then I will believe you. But what the Pacers are doing right now is really incredible and impressive. And now it looks like they'll be in the NBA Finals, and we'll see in the Western Conference Finals if the Thunder can wrap it up tonight. Do you think that at home OKC wraps it up tonight?
Oh yeah,
yeah.
Not even close.
Feels like the writing's on the wall there. And
another thing, almost like the Brunson greatest New York Knick ever. Mm-hmm. We got to move away from Ant. As the next face of the league.
Yeah, I don't know. A great player. I mean, superstar, incredible talent.
Is he the face of Minneapolis sports right now?
I don't think so.
All right, let's set up the mall at the Mall of America.
I love it.
Let's go to the Mall of America. On one end of the mall, signing autographs is Ant. Mm-hmm. At the other end is Justin Jefferson.
Justin Jefferson.
Who's got the longest line?
Justin Jefferson.
No doubt.
Justin Jefferson. I mean,
in
see
2 years, J.J. McCarthy will have a longer line than both of them.
No doubt. I mean, but Justin Jefferson, I remember this past October being at a trunk or treat at my church, and one of the kids walking around is in a Justin Jefferson jersey. Like, he is superstar. I mean, across the country, superstar.
That kid wouldn't had LSU ties, would it? Was it standalone Justin
Jefferson?
It was. Okay,
I'm pretty sure it was a standalone Justin Jefferson.
Isn't that the power of the NFL?
Oh, I mean, it's crazy. I mean, and just how big it is, and those guys are superstars. And so yeah, it'd definitely be the longer line for Justin Jefferson. Unfortunately for Anthony Edwards.
Mall of America, longer line, Carlos Correa or Anthony Edwards?
I think Anthony Edwards probably wins that.
Too.
I think Anthony Edwards wins that.
Even though it's built on the site of the old Metropolitan Stadium where the Twins played.
I don't know if many people will take that into consideration when they're lining up, deciding which line they want to be in. But speaking of Minnesota Twins, they've been on the struggle bus. They're not playing very well. But
they're 30-25.
That's true. But you look at lately, and they've kind of been struggling. I mean, today, real struggle in Tampa Bay. Against a not so great Rays team, but
not so great Rays team that's doing what they always do, though.
That's
They're
right.
just kind of around, waiting for their 12 out of 15.
I think Tampa Bay has a little bit of an advantage at home. I think this new ballpark, the ball's kind of flying out of there a little bit more. I think there might be something to this makeshift stadium they're playing in. 8,300
listed today, 8,372. For the afternoon 5-zip win over the Twins. I bet it was humid.
Oh yeah, I can guarantee you it's humid.
When does the heat hit the homeless A's? And they talk about how hot it's going to be in Sacramento.
Let's see what.
When does that start?
Is. Sacramento weather. Let's look at Sacramento weather. It's the first time maybe in my life I've looked up Sacramento weather.
Live, local, and late breaking.
Wow.
Anybody? Bridges, overpasses, okay in Sacramento?
It looks like they're fine right now, Brett. Reporting live from my computer, it looks like this Friday and Saturday, high of 102 and 101.
There's your heat.
All right. I don't know if
it's a dry heat, too.
Oh, yeah. I don't know if they're in a...
Still 102.
I don't know if they're at home this weekend, but if they are, get ready for it. It's going to be hot heat advisory in Sacramento, California. So be
tickets available because that good little A stretch came and went too.
It sure did. Yeah, no, they are really struggling right now. But we'll talk baseball a little bit later, about 4:30 or so. But we need to go ahead and wrap up this first hour. And when we return, we're talking golf. John Goen from Timber Trust. He joins us next.
Sometimes I wish I had a gun.
Well, I'm armed, but before I bought one, I still went to Top Gun Academy to learn to protect myself without a gun.
How is that possible?
Top Gun's personal protection training. It's perfect if you want to protect yourself without firearms.
I don't know.
And it's perfect if you feel the need to carry a gun for self-defense, because the last thing you really want to do is shoot.
That is scary.
Not at Top Gun. It's very comfortable, and you learn to load, handle, and shoot a handgun safely. Protect yourself. Go to Top Gun Academy. They're at 2770 Winton Road.
Hi, I'm Glenda Hastings, owner of Napa Cafe, and I'm inviting you over for dinner. Treat yourself tonight with a delightful dinner of scrumptious combinations, fresh salads, homemade soups, or maybe start with an appetizer, like our baked Dungeness crab dip with manchego cheese, lemon, garlic, and French baguette toast. Drift into one of our fresh seafood dishes, like the caramelized sea scallops with curry beurre blanc, black forbidden rice, and Thai mango salad, or our ancho honey glazed salmon with creamy black bean puree, avocado pico de gallo, and jalapeno crema. Maybe you're looking for something cozy and comforting, like our Duroc pork chop with apple brandy demi-glaze and blue cheese bacon mashed potatoes. We have something for everyone. Napa Cafe, open Wednesday through Saturday for dinner starting at 5 o'clock. For reservations, visit our website at napacafe.com. Come join us. I'd sure love to see you.
Congratulations to Napa Cafe, celebrating 27 years of great food and service for you. Napa Cafe.
At Jason's Deli, when you're dining in or picking up curbside, you can expect wholesome food and no surprises. Just delicious sandwiches, crisp salads, and quick quality meals made with the freshest ingredients and no artificial trans fats, MSG, high fructose corn syrup, or artificial colors and dyes. Around here, a lot of thought goes into what we put into our food and what we take out of it, because you're not just taking a bite, you're getting a taste of who we are. New items are constantly being created to expand our menu for all tastes and special diets with vegan and gluten-free options available. Convenience and on-time delivery you can count on. It's just a click away at jasonsdeli.com, so whether you need to feed 5 people or 5,000, the team at Jason's Deli, they have the credentials and the commitment to keep you satisfied. Freshness is nearby at Jason's Deli with locations at Ridgeway in the Park Place Center, Poplar and Highland, Germantown Road in Cordova, and on Goodman Road in Olive Branch. Jason's Deli. It's wholesome food and no surprises.
Rick's Powder Coating for a beautiful finish every time. Rick's Powder Coating specializes in automotive, ornamental, residential, and industrial coating. With 2 conveyor lines and the largest batch ovens in the Mid-South, Rick's can accommodate all of your powder coating needs. Locally owned and operated since 2002, Rick's Powder Coating will customize a beautiful finish just for you. Drop by or call to see how Rick's Powder Coating can bring color to your life. 901-367-2771 or rickspowdercoating.com. This traffic report brought to you by Triangle Meat Company, feeding Memphis since 1967. Open 8 to 5, Monday through Friday, 4790 Summer Avenue. Trust Triangle Meat Company. This traffic brought to you by Raleigh Tire Auto Service, your local family-owned business for over 60 years.
Sports 56 traffic.
Good afternoon. It's been slow go today, just like yesterday at times on 40 eastbound, trying to get past that paving project they got going on over there at 40 East at Covington Pike, building out of Midtown just in the last few minutes on 240 South at South Parkway as it gets heavier. 55 trying to get down through DeSoto County. Weimer's Jewelry here in Memphis is your diamond engagement ring headquarters. Go by and see them at 7525 Highway 64. That's Weimer's Jewelry. I'm Commander Chuck with your on-time traffic.
This is Original Sports Station. We are Sports 56, WHBQ Memphis, and W253 DF Memphis. Sports Time on Sports 56 and 95 once again, Records Irving and Brian Davis.
Welcome back in Sports Time. Brian Brett with you live and local inside our Family Leisure Studios. And joining us now to talk some golf, make some picks, John Goen from Timber Trust. He joins us now. John, thanks so much for joining us. A little extended weekend. How are things down at Timber Trust?
Y'all can shut the sprinklers off at any point now. I'm just about done with it.
Yeah.
But other than that, you know, not too bad, just Friday was extremely good. We were real busy, and then unfortunately kind of had to sit back over the weekend for the next 3 days. But, just trying to dry out a little bit, but can't seem to kind of get our way out of this pattern here. Looks like we got chances of rain again in the morning, and then maybe again early Friday as well before it finally maybe dries out for weekend play. So, look, by the time we can maybe move past this, I mean, it's just going to help golf course wise. I mean, as we've talked about the last few weeks, I mean, fertilizer's down. Now we just kind of need some decent weather to kind of really get into, a pretty good stretch of things and just going to help the golf course, continue to improve at the end of the day. So pretty happy about it. Just trying to get out and do some of our normal stuff. Finally got a day to where we can get out and mow a few things today and, hoping for the best the next couple of days. Hopefully we kind of dodge a lot of maybe whatever's coming in.
John, I really felt for you because I knew you texted me what a great Friday you had, and then for everybody, swimming pool, water park, anything outdoors was just wrecked. Saturday, Sunday, and Monday, and not only the rain, but on Monday was the coolest high temperature. It was the coldest high temperature since 1971, and you only get one Memorial Weekend, and it was rim wrecked. I hated it.
Oh, it was done. Yeah, it was absolutely done. So, but those things happen. So hopefully that means that historically, when I've been a part of this whole thing, if we get a spring kind of like this, generally we maybe tend to get a fall that maybe stays a little bit drier, a little bit warmer for a little bit longer, so we get a little bit of an extension from that perspective. We'll just kind of hope that continues to kind of pay off.
I said it to someone Monday. I said, there's a good chance that it will be warmer on Veterans Day than it was on the Monday of Memorial Day.
Oh, there's no doubt. Brett, I mean, you and I have talked about this, back in my TPC days about, how we've just kind of been in this stretch of, these just cool springs, cool, damp springs. And I mean, you're kind of going on a decade plus, I think now of those, of this kind of weather pattern. So, not great, but, at the same time, there's not a heck of a lot we can do about it. Now we can just kind of, we took yesterday and today to kind of do some shop stuff and try to get some equipment back up and functional and, move a few things over and do some of that. So,
John, I'd go past that. I'd go past that. I would say since 2013, I tracked the weather pretty closely. Kept up with it pretty closely all my life. I would say since 2013 through last summer, so that would have been, 12 summers, including 13. Mm-hmm. We've had the fewest over 100-degree days in any 11-year stretch in Memphis Mid-South history.
Does that mean we're the new San Diego?
I don't know if it's quite San Diego because John, when we get a rain, if there's 1.5 inches in that cloud, we get 1.5 inches. If there's 3 feet in it, we get every drop out of every cloud now.
Yeah, we definitely get every bit of efficiency out of it. I know that for a fact. We had some guys play early Monday before everything kind of came down again around 1, 2 o'clock. And those couple of days in a row where you just had fog and mist, and it's just kind of, you're getting that kind of drizzly, nasty, stuff out of the fog. And I said, fellas, look, I lived in Seattle, Washington for 4 years. I said, this is a summer day in Seattle. You guys just got to figure out how to, buck up and move on.
It looked like Scotland for a lot of the weekend. John, this weekend this week the tour at Jack Nicklaus's tournament. It's done so well, the 50th year of his great tournament, and I love how the golf world, the PGA Tour world, Golf Channel, how they present it, how CBS covers it, a little more expanded coverage. I'm all for that. It is not a knock at all on the great Jack Nicklaus. I'm glad they do that for him. Here's what I want. I want them to treat Fred Smith and Memphis and the FedEx Cup playoffs and the tournament in Memphis at the FedEx St. Jude Championship and TPC Southwind with the same vigor that they treat this event. I want that they don't have live from there, but they've had all-day extended coverage and on the range and things like that. It is time for Fred Smith and FedEx to tell the PGA Tour, we shoot to the top of the list in Memphis. And I say all that juxtaposed by, I hope I'm wrong, but with Rory McIlroy, with him scratching and him not playing at Jack Nicklaus's tournament, and with how he finished here last year, John, I really fear that he may not show this year.
Yeah, so I recall, and I hate to even bring this up and mention it, but historical-wise, I want to say the first year that the event was Stanford in 08? 08, 09, something like that. That they did live from at Southwind. and I think that might have just been because, new sponsor, knew this, knew that.
Boy,
but
he was the new shiny toy.
I distinctly recall that they did live from at TPC Southwind, because it was set right up in the middle where we used to put the old merchandise tent, kind of in between one tee and the putting green.
Yeah.
They did a live from studio set right there. So, I mean, it's definitely been here. Don't necessarily, I guess, disagree from the standpoint of, look, I think if you're going to do it, you should do it for all the playoff events at the end of the day. I mean, what else?
Agree.
Outside of the majors and stuff like that, I mean, the FedEx Cup is and the playoffs are supposed to be this big, huge deal. But, why is the Golf Channel not making it that big of a deal? I always thought that it was a bit funny too, to your point, that they wouldn't necessarily do it at Southwind, but the week after the U.S. Open at River Highlands with the Travelers, they were there, constantly. Now, granted, at one point in time, they were a bit more located up in the Northeast, and might be still now. I can't remember whether they moved from Orlando up to, where NBC is at now, just from a studio perspective or what. So, so they're obviously a lot closer to Travelers. So, but I always found it as a bit of a slap in the face that they would go do Travelers literally the week after the U.S. Open, but wouldn't do, live from the FedEx event the week before the U.S. Open.
Non-player Fred Smith vis-a-vis FedEx is the most important figure in the history of the PGA Tour, and they need to show him a lot more love back.
Yeah, I mean, FedEx obviously with, the Cup and the tournament, gives more money to the tour than any other sponsor at the end of the day. So, I think that, to your point, the amount of, or the lack of attention that this event ultimately gets from a media perspective and from a tour perspective, is a bit disappointing at the end of the day. Now, granted, I lived through the low times there with everything, and, you have definitely started to see an uptick with, obviously you got the WGC event. Now you've got the first playoff event. We have thrown into the ether maybe what happens after this renovation, but we'll just kind of see, where things ultimately go. I mean, clearly, if for some reason the Tour Championship were to move here, after the renovation to TPC Southwind, you're going to get all the attention you want out of that. But I still think at the end of the day that, for the two other playoff events that you have before the Tour Championship, I don't know why there's not more of a Golf Channel presence, with that, because again, outside of a major, they are supposed to be your biggest things through the course of the year, and your overall winner makes a substantial amount of money because of it.
Mm-hmm. Speaking of the Tour Championship, what did you make of the news about them eliminating the starting strokes? Is that something you're in favor of? I know it's been a hot topic on the tour.
Well, we were the forerunner of that. We started paying just $3 million, $2 million, $1 million.
That's true.
A few years ago, didn't pay attention to it, John. So
we could have settled all this stuff so long ago it wasn't even funny. I mean,
we really could have.
No, I don't know why they don't ask us. I mean,
honestly,
we can really solve some of the world's problems here, at least golf world's problems. Look, I didn't like it from the get go. I think it's basically like giving somebody a 21-point lead in a college football national championship game.
Don't give the SEC any ideas, John.
They're looking for
right? Oh, yeah, no doubt. I mean, that's the way I look at it. I mean, it made no sense to me whatsoever. And everybody would argue, well, it's because of how they've done through the course of the year. Well, what other tournament on the PGA Tour do we have where guys start off with a lead at the beginning of the event?
This
Not
really
one.
is the SEC thing, isn't it, Brian?
It sure is.
Not one. So why is it that you have to, in your biggest, highest paid event of the year, why is it that you're giving people a 2-shot lead coming out of the gate and then, telling everybody behind you you got no chance? So I'm completely for it. I think it makes sense. I did not like the 2-shot start lead, or wherever I was set at based off of where I was at in the standings going into the Tour Championship. So I think it's good.
Do you think Memphis should be where the Tour Championship is?
Oh, Brett, seriously. Look, I said it when I was at Southwind. I don't understand why, and I think when we talked about this a couple of weeks ago, I don't understand why when you have a golf course like TPC Southwind and the amount of money that you've spent renovating that golf course over the span of the last 8 years, why are you not handing out the FedEx Cup at the home of, FedEx, literally, right next door?
The biggest check writer, John, when I win the Powerball and I build my billionaire golf club, it's not going to have a board of directors. I'm going to be the board of directors, but I'm going to have a board of advisors. And you know who's going to be on it? The 10 people that pays the biggest every year on their bill. and I've always thought people that pay the freight should get the love back. FedEx has paid. They have paid and paid and paid, and we had to kick and scream to finally get to this point. And I don't need to hear the history of the Western Golf Association, and that's the reason why the BMW is kind of the semifinals, the second leg of it. There aren't 15 people in our listening audience that can explain to you what the hell the Western Golf Association even is.
Well, unfortunately, it's what you always hear in professional sports at the end of the day. You're talking about, large market versus small market. You hear about it in baseball, you hear about it in football, you hear about it in other, sporting events and stuff like that. Big market versus small market. And, that's at the end of the day why they have, hosted the Tour Championship in Atlanta. I mean, Coca-Cola was always the biggest thing you always kind of heard about from that perspective.
And the Southern Company.
But, still at the same time, they're not given the amount of money that FedEx gives to the Tour on that front. And look,
I think we even had stupid Pepsi in the media room a few years ago, Bryant, didn't we?
I think so.
It doesn't matter one iota when you only have 30 players playing in the Tour Championship, what city it's in at the end of the day, because I think the amount of spectators you get is going to basically be the exact same. You just, I guess, would prefer that they don't travel into Memphis, Tennessee. You want them to go into Atlanta because it's probably easier to get there, I guess, at the end of the day.
Do you think Rory will be here in August?
I think Roy's had some positive experiences here over the years. I recall, again, in my tenure there, maybe between 2010 and 2012, I can't recall. But, Rory and his dad would literally sit out on the back patio at Southwind for dinner on a nightly basis and hang out for some time. So, clearly, I think he's had some good experiences here in Memphis. Look, he's skipped certain events, sure, but I think it, at the end of the day, if it has any impact on, his ability to potentially win the FedEx Cup, I don't know why he would skip Memphis.
Yeah. Well, let's get to our picks for this weekend, the Memorial. John, I believe you are picking first today.
Gosh, John usually only picks first at the Masters.
That's right.
I couldn't believe when I looked at the scoreboard and I had to see.
This happened last year, boys. It happened last year, and then you guys rattled my cage, and then I went on a hot string. So let's
This
not
is
just
Brian.
go down this rabbit hole of I'm in last place and I can't believe that this is where John's at.
John, I was just trying to get the pick started. I mean, I was not the one, making any claims or
Right.
anything.
So you're saying comeback, huh?
It's happened before.
It sure has. First pick, who
Red
is it,
Sox
John?
Yankees. Here we go.
Now, are we going to grief him when he takes Scotty Scheffler like he always griefs us, Bryant, when anybody else takes Scotty?
I guess we'll have to wait and see.
Who was the original grief person? Who was the original person getting grief for the Scotty Scheffler pick? Like me last year from Bryant all year.
I don't recall that at all.
I really don't. I don't.
Oh,
Brett.
here we go.
I don't remember any of
that.
it.
Thank you.
John,
Memory
your word has really always been your bond. You're a straight shooter. And I just don't remember that at all.
No, I really don't.
No. Let's see. I can go back to those podcasts and find that. That's not going to be a problem at all.
I think we forgot to record that day.
Yeah, I think so. Thank you, Landon.
You're giving our podcast library too much credit too.
It's also a great point, Brett.
Well, I'm going to take the Brett Norsworthy approach and say that since he's in the field and, he obviously had his challenges, he bounces back at Jack's event this week, and I will take Scotty Scheffler.
It's a great pick there, John.
I can't blame you. And even with it, the major that he won, he's not playing anywhere close to how he's like last year. He's not playing that great, and it's still really good.
Mm-hmm. Sure is.
So John takes Scotty Scheffler. That leaves me with. I'll take Ludwig Aubert.
Okay. Love that pick there, Brett.
Of course you do. Ludwig's your guy.
That's my guy. What can I say? I was going to take him if he was there. I'm just really excited about where the boys are at this weekend. Just back-to-back wins for us, the last 2 wins. So we're really rolling right now, trying to stay red hot. We're going to add Justin Thomas to the squad this weekend.
Landon?
Give me Tommy Fleetwood.
He's never won on tour.
There's
Until this weekend. That's right there, Landon.
Right, and here we go.
And he might weigh 160.
Well,
That's all right.
It's golf, Swing
It's about the size of the dog in the fight.
That's right.
John Shawkus.
Ben Griffin.
Is
Good
he
pick.
still
He was-
outside of 20?
It's great last week.
Yeah, Ben Griffin's at 24 right now.
Very good. I didn't doubt it. My shock pick, I'm going to take Akshay Bhatia.
Well, he had – look, I tell you what, he had to still be outside of 20 because Bryant didn't fly off the handle about him being inside he did with DeChambeau at Augusta.
One time I knew what the rankings were. I don't know how closely I'm keeping up with them today. I'm gonna take Nick Taylor this weekend as my shock.
And that is shocking. Landon.
I'm going to take Aaron Rye.
Great pick. Wow. 3 of my guys off the board this week.
I hope he trunk slams it just like he did last week for me.
Yeah, well,
I mean, I really hope he does well for you.
Yeah. No,
okay, Scotty Scheffler.
It's a great pick. I mean, Scotty's in there. I mean, it's a great pick every time. John, before we let you go, tell us where we can go and book tee times and what y'all have got coming up at Timber Trust.
Yeah, so it looks like we might actually have a halfway decent weekend for golf. So plenty of tee times and stuff available for the weekend. Like I said, weather actually looks halfway decent once you get past Friday morning here a little bit. So to be able to book your tee time, you can call us at 662-895-3530, or you can visit us at timbertrustgolf.com to be able to book your tee time online. Of course, tomorrow night we kick off with the 2-man scramble. 5:30 shotgun start. Play 9 holes. Do a little food and stuff after golf. It's a skins game and a 2-man game at the end of the day that we pay out at the end of the night. So it should be fun. Again, 662-895-3530 to be able to sign up for the 2-man for tomorrow night. We do that every single week through the course of the golf season. Always a great way to kind of start your weekend on the early side. And, of course, our next event will be the Timber Trust Open in conjunction with the U.S. Open That'll be the Saturday of the U.S. Open, which is June the 14th. So 4-person scramble, and then you draw a tour player in the top 20 that makes the cut, and then it's your scramble score and their score from Saturday's round, and then we pay everything out there at the end in shop credit. So always fun. The events always sell out pretty quickly, so you can always, again, call us to be able to sign up for that. But, again, fortunately, looks like we're going to kind of break out of this wet weather pattern here, hopefully, for a little bit. And, once we do, golf course, like I said, is definitely on the green side. It could use a little sunshine to green up even a little bit more. But, really looking forward to finally a halfway decent weekend to be able to get some folks out playing golf.
Yeah, should be a fun weekend. John, enjoy it, and we'll talk to you again next Wednesday.
All right, fellas. Have a great weekend. Take care.
Thanks, John.
Thank you, John.
Right back at you.
Fun stuff. Great stuff.
Yeah, John Goen joining us every week to talk golf, make our weekly picks. We'll see.
John picking first.
Oh, man. It's weird. I'm not used to it. I was going through. I write them all down to kind of keep up so I can follow along over the weekend. I'm going, all right, well, who picks first this week? My guess is maybe Brett's picking first. Yeah. And I see, no, it's John picking first. So definitely different. And now we can all pile on him for taking Scotty Scheffler, which is
he threw
a fun
down
change.
the gauntlet.
Sure did.
Gonna lodge the comeback.
We'll see. I said I like picking first because it kind of gives you that boost. You get whoever you want, but we'll see. You got to go out there and do it.
John was on our Sissy's Log Cabin guest line. You can join on the Sissy Log Cabin text and talk line at 901-360-8255. That great location at 4542 Poplar. And I know they're looking forward again to being out at the FedEx St. Jude Championship like they were last year. Bill Jones and his great team, they're part of the fabric of the community, here to stay at Sissy's Log Cabin, at Poplar and Perkins, in Laurelwood, with 9,000 square foot store, with expanded lines for Rolex, Cartier, diamonds, and more. The Mid-South's largest selection of one-of-a-kind jewelry, engagement rings, wedding bands, necklaces, earrings. They'll be with us with all the leaderboard updates at the FedEx St. Jude Championship, and they'll be with us at SEC Media Days. They'll be back with us in football season. We look back at the weekend in the SEC every Monday. They're supporters of the Tigers and the official jeweler for the Memphis Grizzlies, and at FedEx Forum with the Floor Seat Lounge. Unsurpassed value, exceptional service, expansive selection, and extraordinary shopping experience, because life's too short for ordinary jewelry.
Well, some breaking news coming out. I mentioned it earlier. Today is deadline day for guys to return to college after they declared for the draft. Otega Owe, Kentucky's star player, he has announced that he will return to Kentucky. R.J. Lewis Jr., the standout at St. John's last year, had entered his name into the portal, but his father tells Jeff Goodman and the Field of 68 that R.J. Lewis will remain in the draft.
It's been great for college basketball.
It's been fantastic. It's been phenomenal. I had that stat earlier of so many more guys that are going back to school because they're not getting that feedback they're getting. We talked about earlier. I don't know what Yaxel Lindenborg's future in the NBA looks like, but there were mock drafts after the combine that had him late first round at 27, 28. He decides to go back to school and go play a season at Michigan. So you're absolutely right. It has been it's been really good. It's been a lot of fun, but it feels like mostly everybody, all those big names feel like we have the decisions already in place. But let's go ahead, get to another break. When we come back, a lot of baseball action last night and throughout today. We'll talk about it all next on Sports Time.
Join the voice of the Tigers, Dave Woloshin, for Wolo and Friends. Weekday mornings from 10 to 11 here on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
Top Gun is the largest indoor range in the Mid-South, but size isn't the only difference. Top Gun has the best instructors with over 300 years combined experience and classes all the way from first shot to master marksmanship. Plus, Top Gun is affordable. Gold membership is just $48 a month. That's just $1.60 a day for a limited range time. Free gun rentals with purchase of ammo and members lounge access. Top Gun, 2770 Whitten Road, TopGunMemphis.com. Always ship with the best. Top Gun Memphis.
Summer's here, and you can now get almost anything you need for your summer days delivered with Uber Eats. What do we mean by almost? Well, you can't get a well-groomed lawn delivered, but you can get a chicken parmesan delivered. A cabana? That's a no. But a banana? That's a yes. A nice tan? Sorry, no. But a box fan? Happily yes. A day of sunshine? No. A box of fine ones? Yes. Uber Eats can definitely get you that. Get almost anything delivered with Uber Eats. Order now. Alcohol and select markets. Product availability may vary by region. See app for details.
Progressive knows when you're on your boat, you're already on vacation. And Vacation You forgets all your worries. Vacation You doesn't even keep track of time. Knows that time is a meaningless construct designed to control us, man. But regular You knows you don't want to be too far out in the water after the sun goes down because Vacation You doesn't know how to navigate in the dark yet. Vacation You and regular You really need to get on the same page. So bundle your boat with your home or auto policy and earn an automatic discount from Progressive. And spend the savings on the both of you. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company affiliates and other insurers not available in all states or situations.
Spring is in the air, and it's the perfect time to grill, chill, and save with Totes. Install a new generator, tankless water heater, or Carrier HVAC system, and you'll get your choice of a free green egg grill or 36 months no-interest financing. Stay powered during storms, enjoy endless hot water, and slash your cooling costs this summer with a high-efficiency Carrier system, and grill some slow smoke barbecue on us. But hurry, this special ends soon. And if you're dealing with plumbing or electrical problems, Choates is here for you too. Give us a try and take $60 off your repair. Leaky faucet, clogged drain, broken outlet, lights flickering? Call Choates and save $60 on your plumbing or electrical repair service. Call 347-8086 or visit ChoatesHVAC.com today. And remember, Choates, let our family serve your family.
This traffic report is brought to you by Millington Weight Loss. For more information, call 901-436-0272.
Good afternoon. All the major outbound routes have really started to pick up just in the last few minutes. 55, it's moving over here in the construction zone between McLemore and South Parkway. Headed south of Memphis on the increase with that flow on 55 down through DeSoto County as it gets busy now on 240 getting on to 385 Billmores Parkway. Weimer's Jewelry wants you to know they are your diamond engagement ring headquarters. Go see David and his family right now at Weimer's Jewelry on Highway 64. I'm Commander Chuck with your on-time traffic.
Well, a lot of Major League Baseball action over the last 24 hours. A ton of games last night with every team in action. And then today we're seeing a lot of day action before we get to the rest of the action tonight. Maybe the weirdest result last night that seems like it's spilling over into today was Marlins and Padres in the first inning. Last night, Marlins score 6 runs in the top of the first inning. They go on to lose the game, and the starting pitcher that gave up all 6 runs in the first inning got the win for the Padres last night. So very strange. Don't know if I've ever seen that before.
Get that box score out.
Oh, it's a strange one. But then today it gets even weirder because the Padres score 5 runs in the 4th inning to go up 6-1 over the Marlins, and the Marlins have responded with 5 runs of their own in the top of the 5th inning to make it a 6-6 ball game in the bottom of the 5th inning. So runs galore in Marlins Padres. Padres team that was kind of struggling there for a minute in generating runs. They've been doing it the last 2 nights.
I miss the traditional newspaper more during baseball than any time of the year because I liked the page that had all the box scores right there, and I could go to it and could go through them all. And when Rob Fisher taught me how to find out who made the last game by looking at the who made the last out in every game, it was like a kid in a candy store. That was just about I'd never heard of it. I didn't know how you did it. Rob taught me how.
That's awesome.
I love that. I don't look at them as closely online as I did when I had every one of them in front of me. I look at the pitching matchups like I always did, but I don't look at the box scores. But that's one for sure to clip and save. And you're right, they got another wild one going right now. Technically, I think they lose out on some tiebreaker. But I'm looking at the standings right now, Bryant. and tied for the National League wild card. No, that's not right. No, they are. No, they're ahead right now. If the playoffs started today, the St. Louis Cardinals would be the 6th seed.
Wow. I mean, round of applause for the Cardinals being in contention on May 28th.
I'm going to hang about it.
It sounds like you've
had
been,
anything else to hang lately.
It really does sound
Except
like.
for maybe hang
John
Mozeliak.
Well, that is been close.
I kid. I don't get in trouble over that. I kid.
It does feel like throughout today's show, at every break, it feels like you're going somewhere and putting together the pennant you're gonna hang somewhere about the Cardinals being in contention this year.
What I'm building is for me to say, when the Cardinals make the playoffs, I told you so, because I had faith in them, unlike anyone else. Right. And this will be a case when the Cardinals make the playoffs, as I predicted in preseason predictions. Everybody 0-0. Well, the Dodgers and the Cubs have played those games.
Wacky games over.
Yeah, those
over in Japan. Yeah.
Cardinals are 0-0, and I had them winning the National League pennant, winning the World Series.
You know, Brett, that is one. That's one rock that I'll let you stand on. You know, I'll let you take that one.
I'll be glad to.
I'll let you take that one.
In fact, I even made comment about it that I could never, ever remember a year. Not the 70s, not in the old National League East, ever. The Cardinals picked universally to come in dead last.
Yeah. I mean, it was crazy. Even with everything we knew about what the last 2 years were, what this roster looked like, seeing the Cardinals, everyone saying, hey, the Cardinals not only are going to be bad, they're going to be one of the worst teams in their division. It was wild. I mean, it was crazy to see. It was crazy to even think about it. Now, playing some good baseball right now.
I didn't realize the Giants had already lost today. So sitting alone as the zany 6th seed in the National League standings, the St. Louis Cardinals
that was a crazy
would open
game
against
earlier.
the Dodgers.
Well, there you go. I mean, you said earlier that they only 3 less losses than the Dodgers. I mean, let's play it out. I mean, let's see how it goes.
I'm trying to find my baseball predictions now. I think I had the Cardinals over the Dodgers in the NLCS, didn't I?
So you were even better than what you were saying you were. I mean, you have the
NLCS STL over Dodgers.
Incredible stuff. Oh, you only get that right here on Sportstime every afternoon.
It's the only place.
Only place.
There's no partiality, no homer at all.
Quite literally, the only place in the country that had the Cardinals winning the World Series right here on Sportstime.
Nobody in the hallways of KMOX had those.
Certainly not. Certainly not.
And the FM station in St. Louis loves killing them.
Do they really?
Yeah.
Huh.
101.1.
And that's an interesting way to go about it, but you know, I guess do whatever you need to do. But yeah, Orioles tonight. Last night was a weird game. Cardinals get up, then they go down, then they get back up. This team, they're fun to watch. Honestly, all jokes aside, they're a resilient group. They're a team that this is the most hustle and it feels like this team actually cares that we've seen in the last 3 seasons.
Healthy and play defense.
I mean, we talked about it Monday. I mean, or I guess yesterday. Arenado laying out for that catch in Sunday's game against the Diamondbacks. I mean, that was crazy.
And Bryant, I learned a lot of different rules over the weekend. Watched a ton of college and big league baseball. First of all, did you know in college, after you're injured, you can re-enter the game?
Oh, yeah.
When did you know that?
I was watching some random game last year.
Thank you for not telling me, or my head would have already exploded before I heard it Friday.
Yeah, no. Yeah, I had seen that somewhere happen where someone got injured, they left, they came back in, and it was.
That's revolting to me.
Yeah, it's crazy.
When you're scratched, you go to the clubhouse you sit on the bench.
That's right. Yeah.
I don't care if you. This was Ole Miss players that could have after the big collision. Is when I first learned it.
Yeah.
Then on Arenado's catch, I learned if it's less than 2 outs and you go into the net, base runners move up.
What a dumb rule. I did not know about that. I'm sitting there so. When
are we going to start putting the ball on the tee and playing T-ball?
I was driving somewhere. I had somewhere to be.
We're going to have coach picks.
It feels like we're getting close. I had somewhere to be Sunday afternoon, and I'm driving there, and I'm listening to the game on the radio. And I also, if any cops are listening, turn the dial real quick. I was also watching it. I had it on in the background while I was driving, and I hear Arenado makes the catch. He gets the ball back in to Wynn, who's covering third, and whoa, what a play by Arenado. I was like, man, that is awesome. And then I hear, like, a couple minutes later, guys on second and third. I'm going, what? No, I'm texting my buddy. I'm like, what just happened in the Cardinals game? Why are they now on second and third? He's like, dude, this rule, I've never heard of it before, but I guess if you fall into the netting, they all advance a base. What are we doing? That is the
if he hadn't hustled the ball in.
Oh yeah,
they would have the run would have scored.
Really? I did not know that. That's insane. That makes no sense at all. But
if the runner had made third because of that rule,
really,
he would have advanced.
Holy cow. That is the dumbest rule. I mean, baseball has done some dumb things in the last couple of years. Brian, that's the dumbest rule ever.
I don't ever want to come close to meeting that person.
I mean, the guy risked injury. I mean, he literally and played through it. It was incredible. I had to miss the next game because of it. But
it's second time recently he's had that almost same play.
Yeah, and I mean, he's risking injury to make that play, and is a unbelievable play. And because of it, they advance up.
Who do you think got to Manfred, got to somebody and said, we need to do this in the netting? I don't even want – that person had to have gone to college at Oberlin or Williams College.
Had to. No doubt about it. I mean, I couldn't believe that one.
And was an art lecture major.
You know, I would argue, Brett, that there's something wrong with your sport if people are just on the fly learning rules left and right like that. I mean, that's crazy.
And not that we're something extraordinary, but we kind of like it and keep up with it every day. We're learning the rules.
Exactly. When people that will watch at least one Major League Baseball game a day during the Major League Baseball season, when we're finding out these rules, you got an issue. You got a problem.
Because it's two of us, and now Landon has jumped in and embraced and trying to fall in love with it. I would say pound for pound, at WHPQ, the most baseball intense watcher, keeper upper is John Hart.
That's right. Yeah.
But because we have two, I don't know. It might still be close with both of them. But it's a lot for all of us. Eli really likes it, and Greg likes it. But we watch a lot of it, and we're learning this.
Oh, yeah.
I'm not kidding you. Over the weekend, I thought between looking at that stupid green first base in college baseball, two first bases, try explaining two first bases to Casey Stengel.
Well, not even that, Brett. Explain two first bases to them and the fact that if you don't touch the outside first base, you're out. You got to touch that designated second bag. It's ridiculous. It's crazy.
Try explaining two first bases to a couple of my deceased aunts that like baseball. I had one aunt that loved Cardinal baseball. My aunt, we called Aunt Bob. I bet her son's listening right now. Yeah. Drives heavy machinery in eastern Arkansas on big projects. Real close to him. She loved baseball. I don't think I could explain to Aunt Bob that we had two first bases.
I mean, it just makes no sense. But I guess that's baseball. I mean, it's
in reentry.
Yeah.
And you know they're not going to stop reentry at college.
Yeah. The more I think about it, I might not have known about that rule. Because I'm trying to think of the game I saw that. I don't think I knew that rule, actually.
I have been through so much baseball. I never one time said I was done over DH. Never, ever. First of all, when it came along, in '73, I was 11. Going, I thought it was a little goofy. We weren't even doing it in Far City JC Little League. But they're doing it in the show. But okay, whatever. And some old time, Hank Aaron got to extend his career a few years because of it. Okay, whatever. But the National League, we're going to be the adults. We're going to be the senior circuit. We're not going to do that. And then everything else that came along, and I don't want to say anything like if they start allowing reentry at the big league level, I'm done. But it's going to do something to me.
Yeah, I believe it. But hopefully, and that's a big if, hopefully, we are a long way from anything like that. But I don't know. Let one of these superstars get hurt, leave a game, and then say they can get back in there, and I'm sure they'll speed it up. And I would not be surprised if we saw that at some point.
You just painted the doomsday scenario. Postseason.
Oh man.
Big TV watching. Happens to Aaron Judge, and the commissioner, under the aegis of best interest in the game, can do more than the president can. They almost can do anything under the best interest of the game. It gives them the latitude to go out and say, Aaron Judge can go back in.
Yep.
Brian, I swear, I think it's spontaneous combustion, and I'm done.
Yeah,
really done.
I don't put
I'm done with baseball. Really, really blow up.
Well, I would not put anything past this group, honestly.
And if it were against the Cardinals late innings and cost a World Series,
like you predicted,
I'm not responsible for anything I do or say.
Well, yeah, we might. I don't know what we would have to do at that point, but you're right. It would be you'd be a loose cannon for sure. Another interesting thing going on right now.
I would need a bail bondsman.
No, you certainly would. I know. I don't know any good lawyers, but I know people that are studying
maybe
to be
need
lawyers.
Leslie Ballard.
Yeah, literally. You would need something. So I'm not the one to help you with that, though. You'd have to go find someone other than me because I don't have those resources. But another interesting score right now, Pittsburgh, Pittsburgh beat the Diamondbacks last night 9-6. This was a game where the Diamondbacks were in complete control, up 6-0 at one point, and then a massive 7-run eighth inning puts Pittsburgh on top. They get the win. Now today, Pittsburgh with Paul Skeens on the mound, up 8-0 over the Arizona Diamondbacks. So after getting swept by the Cardinals, things going from bad to worse for the Arizona Diamondbacks.
Yeah, I think Paul Skeens can make the snowman hold up, don't you?
Oh yeah. Paul Skeens can't fix everything, but he can do a lot of help.
2026 is already here and already celebrating at All-Star Chevrolet in Olive Branch. Come on down to All-Star and drive one of the all-new 26 Equinox. And if you want to drive a Silverado, they have them. First exit into Mississippi on Highway 78, Kraft Goodman Road, you're there. And what else is there? The Silverados. Nobody with more Silverados than at All-Star. Where all the Chevys are, and May is your month. You still have time to finance your new Silverado as low as 0.9. That's less than 1%. Your good credit deserves it, and you get it at All-Star. If you're law enforcement, first responder, healthcare worker, military, educator, recent grad, extra $500 bonus back instantly. All-Star with every pre-owned truck and SUV you're looking for. If you don't see it on the lot, ask Jeff, ask Drew, ask any member, and they'll find it for you and get it here fast. If you have any vehicle you want to sell, bring it to All-Star and Olive Branch and get the most money back for it today. Wherever this summer takes you, Drew DePriest and his team at All-Star wish everyone a very happy and safe travels and safe summer. Together, let's drive something. Let's drive something from All-Star. For more information, go to allstarautogroup.com.
Well, we need to get to another break, and when we return, it'll be time for Big Number of the Day.
Basketball skills to the next level at Shoot 360 Memphis. Shoot 360 is a revolutionary basketball training facility that combines cutting-edge technology with gamification and provides instant objective feedback and hands-on one-on-one expert coaching. And now, introducing Shoot 360 Forever, a newly renovated 50,000 square foot facility with 2 NBA regulation-size courts, 3 high school-size courts, and 4 shooting bays with Shoot 360 technology. Memberships are now on a monthly basis. And yes, you can become a member at both locations. Whether you're an aspiring young talent, NBA player, or looking for a unique workout, all skill levels are welcome at Shoot 360 Memphis to learn proper shooting and passing techniques, improve fundamentals, and gain a competitive edge while having fun. Shoot 360 Memphis now in Cordova and Collierville. Call them today at 901-779-3176. That's 901-779-3176. The future of basketball training is here. Shoot 360 Memphis.
I love my wife, but like most couples, we have different sleeping needs. One of us likes it warm, and the other prefers to stay cool. You can probably guess who's who. About 15 years ago, I set out on a mission to find the perfect fabric to keep us both comfortable. I found it in Viscose from Bamboo. I'm Tyler, founder of Cozy Earth. Cozy Earth offers the softest, most comfortable sheets, towels, PJs, joggers, and more. Our premium bamboo viscose fabric is incredibly soft, breathable, and moisture-wicking, helping regulate body temperature so you stay comfortable all day and night. Unbelievably cozy, ethically sourced, and designed to add a touch of luxury to your home. I believe so strongly that our sheets will turn your bed into a sanctuary that if you sleep in our sheets for 100 nights and don't absolutely love your experience, we will refund your money. No questions asked. I'm so confident that you'll love Cozy Earth that I guarantee it. It truly is the gift that keeps on giving.
Go to CozyEarth.com and use code CozyComfort to save up to 40%. That's CozyEarth.com. Code CozyComfort.
Ken Garland, you are in your 72nd year of business. Your son William is now joining you. What do you think is the key to your longevity in the building business?
My dad started the business in 1965, and I think being on the job sites daily and being accessible to homeowners has been a key to our success.
You guys have a work ethic, as you like to say. You're not hiring people to be on the site. You guys are there every day.
We interact with the subcontractors multiple times a day on each job site. You know, I think that has been a key, as well as using the same subcontractors 20 plus years in most cases.
When you talk about materials, what is the first thing you're thinking about when somebody comes to you to build a home?
You know, we're just trying to meet the expectations of the client and the homeowner and the architect and give them what their dream is.
When you get a Ken Garland home, what do you guarantee?
We'll be there after the job is finished. We're still accessible to all our clients.
Now I need to know, how do I get a hold of Ken Garland?
You can reach us at kengarland.com.
It's time for fun, family, and fabulous prizes at the 67th Annual St. Louis Hole-in-One Charity Festival, Sunday through Saturday, June 15th through 21st. Golfers can win cash and prizes every night, along with the chance to win $25,000 toward a City Auto vehicle purchase select nights. Then a chance to win $1 million the final night. Plus, there are cornhole tournaments every night with cash and prizes. Friday and Saturday nights, there are kids' carnival rides and 2 to 4 Saturday children's golf. So golfers, grab your clubs. Cornholers, practice your aim. Families, bring the kids. Memphis, there's something for everyone. You're invited to the biggest party of the year at St. Louis Church, 203 South White Station Road. The 67th Annual St. Louis Hole-in-One Charity Festival, Sunday through Saturday, June 15th through the 21st. Fun, family, and fabulous prizes all week as you help raise funds supporting youth programs at St. Louis Church.
Big Daddy.
Hello, Big Brand. It's a guy, he wants to be big, then he gets big, he doesn't want to be big anymore, then he gets small, but the suit's too big.
Big Daddy.
The big boy.
You're a big guy. I think she's trying to pull a fast one on Big Daddy.
The big number of the day.
Well, my big number of the day today, it's more of a small number of the day. It is the number 1. Last night, Christian Yelich, he had himself a big night in his 13th season in the majors. Last night, he hit a walk-off home run. It was a grand slam that gave the Brewers a 5-1 victory in extra innings over the Red Sox. While he's been in Major League Baseball for 13 seasons, last night's walk-off home run was his first walk-off home run of his career, which is hard to believe. We think about the power that Christian Yelich has, the
MVP of the National League one year.
Exactly. I mean, the career that he has, you would think at least a couple of walk-off home runs in his career, but that's not the case. Last night, in his 13th season, career walk-off homer number 1 in the book. So it's a good night for the Brewers. I believe they got a win again today. So back-to-back wins for the Brew Crew. They're playing well right now.
10-zip Arizona, they're adding on, or 10-zip Pittsburgh adding on against Arizona. Brian, I would have lost a bet today, and it pushed me away from doing anything. I thought you would have had something with the Tyrese Halliburton numbers from last night.
It was very close to having that, yes.
So I moved away from that. I moved into college football with this, and we're going to get to a ranking of the top 136 coaches about 5:30. that Bill Bender, our good friend Bill Bender, did at Sporting News. Look, everybody, these rankings are all hard, especially in late May.
Holy cow.
Don't come down too hard on Bill. It's his opinion. I disagree with some, and when we talk to him, I'll tell him to his ears, to his face, that I disagree with some. But that 136 is my big number because that's how many teams this year that will be playing in FBS college football, up from 134 last year. So anytime you hear on these airwaves or anywhere else, 129 teams or how many it is, no, it's really simple to figure out. It's 136. It's not hard to forget. It's 136, 2 new ones this year. Those 2 new ones, Delaware and Missouri State. With 136 playing FBS, Bryant, that's 50 that have no business doing it. Yeah, I said it. They need to. There's nothing fair in life than in sports is playing in your own weight class. There's a reason why boxing have it. There's a reason why high school classifications have A and AA and AAA and 6A and 9A and 10A in California, whatever it is. There's about 50 playing in the FBS. They have no business doing it. Play somebody your own size. You'll have more fun.
Yeah, well, that's true. I think more success will come with that. I mean, you see a lot of these, a lot of these programs that move up from the FCS ranks. They're teams that had a lot of success at that level, trying to make the jump, and you see that success isn't there, especially early at the FBS level. But yeah, it's a lot of teams. 136. That's a lot of teams to be playing in the at the same level with each other.
And then the next round of the big sea change in college football, not this one. This is the 2026 one. This is what we're in the middle of right now. All this gnashing of teeth. The next one's going to be the 2031 sea change. They're cutting loose from a lot of those.
Yeah, I definitely could see it. I definitely could see it happening.
No, I do not think Memphis will be cut loose from, nor should be. Memphis has always played, most of my life, since Coach Murphy got there, whatever year he got there, I'm going to say from the 50s on, they've always played in that top level. I'm not talking about the Tigers, so if that's making you mad, it's not about the Tigers I'm talking about. But there's some in that league that have no business doing it.
Sure. Yeah. I mean, I'd say
if I needed to, I can call names.
Sure. Well, I don't think we need to do that yet. May lists, I don't think that's when we need to start calling teams out. But no, I think you're probably right, and we'll see if that happens because that's sure is a lot of teams, and it feels like
Delaware's had a great history at FCS. That's Joe Flacco's school, isn't it?
That's right. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, that's the thing. I mean, a lot of these
schools. That's why I respect Villanova so much. They never got tempted to make that move. Okay, we're doing it fine at 1AA at FCS. We're staying here.
Yeah, I mean, you're seeing it. A lot of teams that, have a lot of success at that level, they, get excited. They say, let's go do it at the next level. And a lot of times that doesn't work out.
That's who Sankey and Petiti are tired of dragging along.
Yep, that's right. But then you got to worry about the Big Sky putting out statements against the SEC. So.
The hours of sleep I've lost worried about the Big Sky.
The Big Sky. Hope they're doing well out there in the Big Sky, kind of middle of
nowhere. Keep your card and one letter coming.
That's right. Yes.
It's not even cards and letters. To the flipping Big Sky.
Oh, Big Sky. Gotta love them. Gotta love them. Well, before we get to a break here, let me remind you that the weather's starting to get nice. I know it's been a lot of rain in the forecast, but perfect time with the weather improving to head down to Frontier Western Store, where you can walk into the new season in style. Family owned and operated since 1967, Frontier Western is your one-stop shop for some of the biggest brands in Western wear. They're the one-stop shop for Carhartt in the Mid-South, and they've got you all covered with plenty of other brands when it comes to shirts, apparel, and jeans. You need a new pair of jeans? Well, Frontier has you covered with the biggest brands from Ariat all the way down to Wrangler. You'll love how easy it is to find the perfect style and size for you. They make it super easy, and their pricing is lower than online and chain stores, so you know you'll be getting the best deals. While you're there, check out their world-famous boot showroom. Whether it's work boots or dress boots, Frontier Frontier has you covered for the entire family with plenty of in-stock proven classics like Ariat, Dam Post, and Durango, just to name a few. Head down there this weekend, 5880 Goodman Road in Olive Branch, and check out the entire selection. Open Monday through Saturday, 9 a.m. to 7 p.m., and Sundays, 1 p.m. to 6 p.m. Head down there and check out everything Frontier Western Store has to offer. Well, let's go ahead and wrap up hour number 2, and when we return, Rob Fisher from the Grizzlies FanDuel Sports Network, he'll join us. We'll talk Grizzlies and the NBA with Rob. We'll do that next.
Since 1948, in the alley, the Rendezvous. I'm with John Burgess. John, what's going on in the Rendezvous? Brett, after 76 years, we've decided to expand our product line. Anyone who's tasted our ribs is familiar with our vinegar base. It's now available in the 32-ounce jar. It's so good to base or marinate all meats. I even put a little bit on turnip greens. Something we've been using at the restaurant or at our house has been the Greek seasoning. My father was a cook, but my mother was a chef. And she was the one that put Greek seasoning on everything from a Mediterranean diet or steak. My mom used it on soup, salad, veggies, fish, any meat. It's a great seasoning and a flavor enhancer. My brother Nick figured out salt and pepper is more than just McCormick's and Morton's. He's come up with the perfect blend we use to coat our shoulders and our brisket, and he used to make it for his friends as Christmas gifts, and they loved it. All these products are available at Rendezvous or online for shipping as gifts and in many grocery stores. And if they're not in your favorite grocery store, ask your grocer to stock it. A beloved family affair is still going strong since 1948. Rendezvous.
Tito's handmade vodka is America's favorite vodka for a reason. From the first legal distillery in Texas, Tito's is 6 times distilled till it's just right and naturally gluten-free, making it a high-quality spirit that mixes with just about everything. From the smoothest martinis to the best Bloody Marys, beyond the bottle, Tito's has gained a reputation for giving back, teaming up with nonprofits around the world to serve its community and do good for dogs. Make your next cocktail with Tito's and learn more at Tito'sVodka.com. 40% alcohol by volume, mainly 80 proof, crafted to be savored responsibly.
Hi, this is Troy Five-Ash, owner of Five-Ash Roofing. I have been told that my ads are all business and I should share some of my personality. Okay, I love tongue twisters, like the one about the terrific tasting toast by Taste Tester Toaster, or Big Black Bugs, Bleed Blue Blood, and of course Sally and her seashells. Or of course the ever-present I'm a Mother Pheasant Plucker, I Pluck Mother Pheasants. Okay, enough of that. If you want an honest, fair, reasonable roofing, siding, or gutter estimate, call Five-Ash Roofing at 367-0050. That's exactly what you'll get. No empty promises, no high-pressure sales tactics, and no fast-talking salesman trying to convince you that today and only today is the best day for you to get a new roof. For the record, the best day to get a new roof is when you're ready for one. Five-Ash Roofing, fair, honest, and ethical. 367-0050 or MemphisRoofer.com.
Five-Ash Roofing, it's what we do. We're here for you.
Gossett Volkswagen's got it going on, so get over to Covington Pike and you'll save big on 2025 Jetta S. We Gossett $299 a month, $299 a month for Jetta. How about 2025 ID4S Limited, $399 a month, $399 a month for ID4S Limited. And feel the vintage vibes in 2025 ID Buzz for less. Electric Buzz, $599 a month. Plus, Gossett Volkswagen has lower cost of maintenance across 2024 and 2025 lineups compared to 2024 Toyota or Honda. So make the smart choice. Get to Gossett Volkswagen, 1875 Covington Pike, online, GossettVWMemphis.com. Gossett is charging forward and charging less every day. If you want it, we Gossett at Gossett Volkswagen.
66133, MSRP 24125, ID4 SC00 2503, MSRP 47261, Buzz SHO 13379, MSRP 61980. Includes all rebates and incentives. PF 895 excludes tax title and license. See dealer for complete details. Offer valid through end of the month with approved credit. Dealer stock only.
This traffic brought to you by Raleigh Tire Auto Service, your local family-owned business for over 60 years.
Good afternoon, MPD working with a couple of wrecks. Here's what we're seeing. Heavier traffic on 240 east from Mill Branch out to 385. It's been dragging again today over there in that repaving project that's going on 40 eastbound at Covington Pike. Make note of that. Again, it was slow earlier as you approach that area on 40 east at Covington Pike. Weimer's Jewelry, your diamond engagement ring headquarters this bridal season. Stop by and see them right now at 7525 Highway 64. I'm Commander Chuck with your on-time traffic.
56 WHBQ Memphis. Memphis and W253DF Memphis with Greg Gaston and Eli Savoy. Weekday mornings from 7 to 10. Now, back to Sports Time on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. This hour brought to you by Jack Wild and Roller Club. Once again, Brett Northworthy and Brian Davis.
Say you stand by your man. Tell me something.
We're making it into Sports Time. Bryant Brett with you live and local inside our Family Leisure Studios as we start our third and final hour. And joining us now to talk Grizzlies and the NBA, Rob Fisher from the Grizzlies FanDuel Sports Network joins us now. Rob, thanks so much for joining us. A lot to get to when it comes to the NBA, but let's start with the Memphis Grizzlies because all eyes were on the NBA all teams over on Friday that were announced, the All-NBA teams that were announced. If Jaren Jackson Jr. would make that, we knew that if he made one of those teams, it would be a significant pay raise for him on his next contract. Very close, but did not make any of those three teams. I believe he was the second out, top second out of that voting. What did you make of Jaren Jackson and missing out on any of the All-NBA teams?
Well, I mean, I wasn't shocked. I thought he had a chance, and obviously he did. He was right there. I think a couple of things affected Jaren being all NBA this year. Number one, I think his defensive numbers wise went down. I don't think his defensive effectiveness went down, but I think his numbers went down mainly because he was playing different positionally than he did, a year ago or 2 years ago. So his numbers go down. That has a factor in it. And then the way the team performed in the second half of the season and spiraling downward, that hurts you as well. And because you think when Wembanyama went down with the injury, a lot of people were talking about Jaren being Defensive Player of the Year at that point. Well, that's how quickly it dissipated when the Grizzlies started to really struggle, especially against good teams. So it wasn't a surprise that he didn't make it. I was hoping Jaren would make it, root for him. It would have been a great accomplishment for him personally. But to not get it, if it helps out the Grizzlies, I guess, is there something good that comes out of it?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, he was right there, real close. You mentioned, some of those things, the injury, but you're right. I mean, was right there the favorite for Defensive Player of the Year when Wemby was out for the season. Right now, obviously, a lot going on with the conference finals. Last night, Indiana went up 3-1 over the Knicks. What have you made of this series? It's been a lot of fun so far, but right now, Indiana in complete control.
Complete control, and I think the one thing that Indiana was going to have to do to have a chance in the series was run New York off the floor, and I think they have. You see how the New York players are gassed. You see that Tom Thibodeau is actually playing different rotations and playing a bigger rotation than what he normally does, and I think it's because of Indiana's effectiveness running the basketball and playing at an incredible pace. And they force that pace on you, and they have forced that pace on the Knicks. And Halliburton's been incredible so far in the series. But everybody, the thing that I thought about the Knicks coming into the series was everybody kind of was playing their role, and everybody knew their role. And I think Indiana, you could say that about them. Everyone really playing their role and playing it really well, from Neesmith to Nembhard to Miles Turner to Reed Shepherd. All the guys that have been coming in and playing and getting the job done. They're all doing the job, and it's been impressive to see. A lot of us probably don't see a lot of Indiana throughout the course of the year. Being in the Western Conference and not watching a lot of them on television. They're not on national television a lot. They were one of the best teams since the All-Star break, record-wise, and right now they're playing as good a basketball as anybody. So I've been very impressed with the way they played, and I don't think it's going to be a cakewalk for Oklahoma City when Oklahoma City eventually gets there.
Yeah, I mean, it's a good point by you. I mean, it feels like this Pacers team is a team that's gotten lost. You know, a team that was in the Eastern Conference Finals last year, then felt like nobody said a word about them during the regular season, and now they're here in the conference finals again, and looks like they're in complete control to get to the NBA Finals. What do you make of Tyrese Halliburton in terms of star player? I've seen a lot of people debate on what type of player he is in terms of kind of the tier groups of superstar, star player. How would you describe Tyrese Halliburton?
Well, I use the term superstar for about maybe 5 guys, and he's not one of them. Star player, absolutely. And I think the main thing that puts him in that category is his clutch play. I saw a stat last week. I think it was 11 of 12 from the field in the final 2 minutes of a game this season to tie the game or give them the lead. 11 of 12.
It's crazy.
And in his last 4 closeout games, he's 4-0, averaging 25 points a game, and now he'll have another opportunity to do that. So, I mean, that's clutch, and that's big-time shot-making and big-time player. And I think he's showing it in this series against the New York Knicks that, you know, he's as special as we thought he was during the NBA Cup last year when he kind of gained a lot of prominence during that NBA Cup, and then it kind of faded, and then all of a sudden he became the most overrated guy according to players. So I think he's quashed that at least. You can't say he's overrated because the guy's just come up clutch time after time after time.
Rob, do we make way too much about the rebounding number?
No, I don't think so, especially on the offensive rebounding number because it gives you so many extra possessions. You know, defensive rebounding is important because you don't want to give up extra possessions. Offensive rebounding is important because you want to gain extra possessions. So yeah, I think it's a huge number. Why do you ask?
In relation to Jaren, because you can talk his points, you can talk everything he does, and we always mention rebounding.
Well, we always mention rebounding, but, I mean, how long has the guy been in the league now?
7 years.
7 years?
Yeah.
I mean, maybe that's just something he doesn't do very well. Or maybe it's just something that he hasn't had to do, you know, with the position that he plays. I don't know. I think early in his career I looked at it as a concern, but because of the things that he does, blocking shots, creating possessions there, because of getting steals, creating possessions there, you know, you add those two up, and he's one of the best in the league. So I think he can be effective without having to have the rebound numbers when you got a guy in the middle who's going to gobble up all the rebounds anyway. And really, you look at Jaren's career. He's played next to Jonas. I mean, hell, he played next to Mark, I guess, for a short period of time. But Mark, Jonas, Steven, and now Zach Edey. I mean, he's playing next to guys who are supposed to gobble up all the rebounds.
Great.
And he doesn't have to. So when it comes to him, it doesn't concern me really that much, just because I think he does other things so well to make up for it.
Rob, we're at SEC. When we get to SEC Media Days, there's always a ton of ceiling and basement talk. We know Jaren Jackson's not going to hit any basement. Do you think there's still ceiling, still upside for him? Can he get better?
I think so, because I think he has every year. You know, and it gets to a point in a player's career where you wonder, you know, well, how can they get better? Where are they going to get better, or are they just who they are? And I think Jaren, to his credit, has improved every year of his career. I think what his next step, well, Jaren's next step is going to be, how do you attack double teams? You know, because now all of a sudden you're getting double teams at the end of the year, and at times it looked a little, you know, out of sorts. So I think that's the next step. The next step is, you know, developing a move, another move to the basket. You know, I think there's still a lot of growth in his game that we could still see, and more physical play, the staying out of foul trouble, which I think was a lot better this year. It just wasn't at the end of the year. But those are things that he can continue to improve, and that's on the basketball floor. Maybe his size, he's going to continue to get bigger, and can he use that size and physical strength to overtake opponents? So those are things. I think just growing and continue to grow as a player is where we'll see. I don't think we've seen the ceiling yet for Jaren by any stretch.
Talking about improvements, when you look at this Grizzlies roster, you look at the young guys, the role players on this roster, who needs to have the biggest offseason and make that jump going into next year?
Well, I think the easy answer is Gigi. I think the way you phrased it, who needs to make that jump, it's Gigi. Gigi Jackson needs to figure out what his role is going to be. Gigi Jackson needs to be told what his role is going to be. And Gigi Jackson needs to grow up. And Gigi needs to accept that role and play. This last season was just a disaster for Gigi Jackson. Let's just be honest. It was. And I think, the guy still is 20 years old. He still has all the tools. He's just got to have the toolbox to store them in. And I think that's what we're talking about with Gigi. And so I think it's a huge offseason for Gigi Jackson. I think it's a big offseason for Vince Williams. And the biggest thing for Vince Williams is getting healthy. Because when we saw Vince at the end of last season, he wasn't playing at 100%. He self-admittedly said he wasn't playing at 100%. So I think getting Vince Williams healthy and getting Gigi on the same page as the staff, I think are probably the two biggest when you talk about the young guys and what you want to see. It'll be interesting to see, what happens with the Summer League and which players are going to play in Summer League and how much they're going to be used and what sort of role they're going to be used in. So I'm looking forward to seeing that next month.
And Rob, in all seriousness, I am being serious. I'm not flattering you like we do about you being a legitimate odds maker, but you are. You wanted everybody last year, even going into the summer, going into the season, slow down a little bit on Gigi and Vince. They did it in a lot of games, a lot of nights that really weren't that intense, and they still did it. Some of us, like me, I'm sitting there thinking that Gigi Jackson could be sixth man of the year last year. You were preaching slow down. Let's see him do it in time.
Well, I mean, it was funny. I was talking to, I think, Brevin about it a couple of weeks ago, and I just said, remember the questions last year? I mean, there were questions. I'm not saying it was from y'all, but I know that I was asked the question often of what's the ceiling for Gigi Jackson? And I was like, I have no idea. I mean,
I worked in ceiling talk. I'm sorry.
So yeah, I mean, when you're playing on a team like the Grizzlies had 2 years ago, people are going to have to score. Guys are going to have to score. People are going to have to score. You're going to score 100 points. So who's going to get the point? And Gigi Jackson was the benefactor of that. It was all about offense for Gigi. It was all about scoring. It was pretty much do whatever you want offensively. And he was able to take advantage of it and took advantage of that opportunity big time. Now, when you come back and your role changes, and then all of a sudden you're not asked to score 25, and you're asked to maybe score a few off the bench here and there, but you're asked more importantly to defend, that changes everything. Gigi's coming off a season where he felt like he could score 20 a night and scored 20 on a lot of nights. And now all of a sudden you're asking a guy to play defense, scoring's not really the priority. Well, that kind of can screw with you a little bit, and I think it did with Gigi last year. Not that he can't have an offensive, have an offensive game, but right now to be on the floor, he's got to do more things than just score. And if he's not, then he's going to find himself where he found himself a lot this year, and that's on the bench.
Do you fear maybe some bad habits developed last year?
No, I don't really think it was that. I think it was. I think it was just. I think he looked lost. I think he just. He didn't know for sure what his role was, and I think the Grizzlies staff, they talked about it all the time, that they just kept pounding it in his head. Defense will keep you on the floor. Defense will keep you on the floor. Defense will keep you on the floor, and never was there a talk of, and go get us some points. I mean. And I think it probably hit Gigi like, well, wait a second, I can do all this. So I think it was a matter of learning the business of the NBA, growing up as a man in the NBA, and figuring those things out. I don't think Gigi did last year.
Very difficult to do, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely it is. And so I don't think you need to give up on Gigi. I don't think anybody needs to give up on Gigi. I think Gigi just needs to figure out what his role is on this team, and hopefully that'll be well defined for him.
It's also probably the first time in his life that he's been told, we need you to do this one specific thing. I mean, he's one of the top players in his class growing up, AAU, all that stuff. He's just get the ball and do your thing. College at South Carolina, give him the ball, let him do his thing. And then last year, he's put in there and everyone's injured. Gigi, go have fun, get us points. And now it's, hey, you're going to come off the bench and we need you to play this role and play a bunch of defense and all of that. That certainly could not have been easy for Gigi Jackson.
And you're exactly right. I mean, since he was a little kid, he's been able to just dominate people and score.
Yeah.
Just dominate people and score. Well, you get to the NBA, and everybody in the NBA was able to dominate the score on anybody growing up. I mean, they're all a bunch of the same type of people. So you have to do other things to be involved and to make a difference in a game. You've got to make winning plays. And too often last year, Gigi, too many lazy plays, too many plays he took off, too many trips down the floor he took off. I mean, there were just too many times that Gigi just didn't look right out there because he was, frankly, looking to score instead of doing anything else. And I think it really hurt him last year.
Rob, we're not going to have Landon hit the high hardwood sounder, but I'm going to ask you one. You ready?
Yep.
Bigger myth exposed out of this conference championship round of playoffs. Was it A, the Knicks are back, or B, Anthony Edwards, the new face of the NBA? Which one the bigger myth?
Oh, man. I would say probably B.
I would agree because you've had
because the
Knicks
are in the conference finals.
They are, and you got Halliburton showing that he is potentially was an Olympian. I mean, I think people forget that he won gold in Paris last August, and so did Anthony Edwards. But you've got to move on to the finals, and you've got to be around at championship time to be face of the league. I said earlier, he's not the face of Minneapolis sports.
Who's the face of Minneapolis sports right now?
Justin Jefferson, in my opinion.
Justin Jefferson? Yeah, probably.
All right, Rob, you answered. All right, here we go.
Second time
Rob,
we've done this.
And Rob came up with this, Bryant. We're at the Mall of America, and there's an autograph stand on one end, and it features Carlos Correa, and on the other end is Anthony Edwards, who has the longer line.
I'm going to go I'll go Anthony Edwards on that.
We did too. We did too.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. He beats Carlos Correa. But I don't know about Justin Jefferson.
And in a year, J.J. McCarthy has a longer line.
Yeah, no kidding. No, Ant's he's been really good. And, it's interesting because we were ranking. Eli had Brevin on last week, and Eli asked a question about, it was SGA, Brunson, and Anthony Edwards. And, how would you rank them if you wanted the guy to take your last shot? And I think when it comes to that, taking the last shot, those guys have all done it except for Anthony Edwards.
Mm-hmm.
He's taken a lot of last shots, but how many has he made? How many do you remember that Anthony Edwards has sent his team to a victory? I don't know. I think there still needs to be a little bit more there from Anthony Edwards. But, yeah, we're searching for a face of United States basketball. And I don't even know who it is, but I wouldn't put Anthony Edwards on that pedestal just yet.
No, definitely not.
We know the face of Canadian basketball, and it's SGA.
Sure is.
Yeah, he's something else. He's just been spectacular in this series. He's the best player on the best team in the league, and winning the MVP wasn't a surprise. I think deservedly so. He's the MVP of the league. Just the way that he can get his shot and get to his shot and knock it down whenever he wants is so impressive. And you can't get close to him or you'll foul him. I mean, he just makes it so difficult on you to guard. And then when he's got the players around him, too, that are knocking down shots as well, it makes him even better. So SGA's been unbelievable. I think Oklahoma City's been great. I think this, it's crazy. They've had some losses that have been head-scratching, and that 40-point loss was head-scratching to Minnesota. But they threw in the towel early and said, screw it, we'll come back another day, and they came back another day and took care of business in a game in which Minnesota played their best basketball maybe of the series, and they still got the win. So now you go back home and can end it tonight, and pretty remarkable that Oklahoma City and Indiana possibly in the NBA Finals.
I called it the Smallville Finals, and that's what it'll be. It'll be, Q John Cougar Mellencamp. This is Smallville.
And I don't have a problem with it. And, hey, like I said last week, you're going to have people who are going to be screaming and hollering about, these small market teams, we want the big market teams. But then if the big market teams were there, we're tired of the big market teams, we want the small market teams. So
No.
I'm all for it.
When we have the big market teams, Rob, we don't say that. We say it's fixed.
Right.
No, we don't, because we're part of the initiated, but the uninitiated say it.
Yeah, no, we don't, because we're intelligent people.
And we're going to break our arm patting ourselves on the back. All right, one more hard one away from the NBA, kind of preparing for our award-winning segment that we win countless awards every year at SEC Media Days for our roundtable. Hard one. Only one of these two things happens. Which one will happen? SEC goes to a 9-game schedule, or SEC goes to the Big Ten scheduling non-conference model and starts playing them. Only one of the two happens. Which one?
I'm going with 9.
I am too. And here comes more FCS opponents.
Yeah, they'll go with 9, and then it's like, well, what are we supposed to do in our non-conference? We got to lighten the load, so we'll play. Yeah, Bethune-Cookman will be on the schedule, and UMass, and all these schools that you'll see.
A few years ago, I thought Charleston Southern joined the league.
Felt like it.
Yeah. So and that's unfortunate. Because going to 9 would be exciting, because that's 9 weeks of great football. But yeah, the FCS schools won't go away if that's the case. Not at all.
No.
And I wish they would do that. I wish they'd do those hand in hand. 9 conference games, and your other 3 games have to be against Division I programs.
For sure.
Yeah, that would make things a lot better. Rob, as always, thanks so much for joining us, and we'll talk to you again next week.
Gentlemen, always enjoy it. Talk to you next week.
Thanks, Rob.
Thank you, Rob.
Rob Fisher joining us from the Grizzlies FanDuel Sports Network. Talk a little bit of everything, mostly Grizzlies basketball and the NBA. As anywhere you look, Brett, there is talk about what the Grizzlies could do this offseason, but we still wait to see if they make any moves. But today it felt like an avalanche of who could possibly be coming to the Grizzlies and who people want coming to the Grizzlies. It feels like people are hoping for a big offseason.
Yeah, and I won't, if you're thinking wholesale, large-scale changes, I want large rather than medium, and I do not want small.
Sure, yeah. I was telling someone today, because they sent me something about, a Grizzlies potential trade, and I said, well, it's all these stories are great, but, I still would not be surprised if we get to the end of the offseason and the biggest move is trading someone like, John Conchar for a second-round pick and Alex Lynn. I just have to believe it. I'm not going to believe it till I see it with this front office, see if they will pull off any moves. Well, before we get to a break, let me remind you about our 5 o'clock sponsor. It's Jaguar Land Rover Bluff City. Jaguar Bluff City has been the premier Jaguar dealership for the greater Memphis area since 1984, and their talented team is ready to help you find your next perfect vehicle at unbeatable rates. Swing by Jaguar Land Rover Bluff City today and check out the new 2025 models like the 2025 Range Rover Sport, the 2025 Range Rover Velar, and the 2025 Defender. Test drive the Range Rover Sport, where luxury meets performance. It's a perfect mix of style, performance, and versatility, with options ranging from 360 horsepower up to 635. It's also available as a plug-in hybrid electric vehicle with $7,500 federal tax credit when leased with approved credit. Take a look at the Range Rover Velar, powered by mild hybrid technology, enhanced with the latest well-being features and fully connected entertainment system. The Range Rover Velar is the ultimate luxury compact crossover. Purchase yours today to get special 4.4% for 72 months financing available with approved credit. Don't forget about the Defender, available in multiple models to fit your needs. The Defender is built for the modern explorer, and Jaguar Bluff City is offering special interest rates for 60 and 72 months on various models. Give them a call, 877-259-6169. Go online to jaguarbluffcity.com, but head out there, test drive these vehicles. 6335 Will Cove, just off of Quince, for Bluff City Jaguar. Let's get to another break, and when we return, we'll talk about what's trending.
Visit Frontier Western Store today for new shirts and boots. Frontier is your top Carhartt store in the Mid-South. There's thousands of in-stock shirts and jeans. They have the classic K87 pocket tee in every color they make, including new ones just released. Available small to 4X. Want new jeans? Frontier has you covered with super tough work in them by Carhartt. And you've got to check out their selection of Ariat jeans for men, women, and children. You'll love how easy it is to find the size and style you need. Have you seen Frontier's remodeled world-famous boot showroom? It continues to expand. New styles by Ariat just arrived, plus plenty of in-stock proven classics too. Whether you need work or dress boots, trust that Frontier's the place to come. See thousands of pairs of Ariat boots and thousands more by Dan Post, Corral, Durango, Rocky, Twisted X, and others. And Frontier's pricing is lower than online and chain stores, so you know just the local shop to visit. Frontier Western Store, 5880 Goodman Road in Olive Branch, and on the web at frontierwesternstore.com. Locally owned and operated since 1967.
Testing.
We're live from Chick-fil-A.
This is Grant.
And this is Laura.
And a little thing we love about the Chick-fil-A Smokehouse Barbecue Bacon Sandwich is that sweet bun.
And that chicken filet was perfectly crispy and soft at the same time.
And that Smokehouse Barbecue sauce, it's a lot of fun. And the brown sugar bacon definitely had a little bit more pizzazz. Also, the Mac, one of the all-time greats. Man, I'm getting hungry.
Order the Smokehouse Barbecue Bacon Sandwich and our Coca-Cola on the Chick-fil-A app for a limited time. No guests paid for their testimonials.
Progressive knows when you're on your boat, you're already on vacation. And Vacation You forgets all your worries. Vacation You doesn't even keep track of time. It knows that time is a meaningless construct designed to control us, man. But regular You knows you don't want to be too far out in the water after the sun goes down because Vacation You doesn't know how to navigate in the dark yet. Vacation You and regular You really need to get on the same page. So bundle your boat with your Homer Auto policy and earn an automatic discount from Progressive. And spend the savings on the both of you. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company affiliates and other insurers not available in all states or situations.
The Gossett Mitsubishi Motors Spring Sales Event got thunderstruck, and the deals will shock you. All current inventory is not affected by new tariffs, so you can buy with confidence. And 2.99 for 60 months is available. 2025 Mitsubishi Outlander PHEV plug-in hybrid, $349 a month, or buy for $41,115 with a combined range of 420 miles. 2025 Mitsubishi Eclipse Cross, we Gossett, $28,545. 25 Mitsubishi Outlander, we Gossett, $32,130 or $499 a month. Plus, you always get peace of mind with our 10-year, 100,000-mile powertrain limited warranty. So get to Gossett Mitsubishi, 1870 Covington Pike, and 24/7 at memphismitsubishi.com.
If you want it, we Gossett and Gossett Motor Cars.
SEO 11871, MSRP 46,000, Cross SC 007521, MSRP 29545, Sport SU 002440, MSRP 286, includes all rebates and incentives, PF 895, excludes tax, title, and license. See dealer for complete details. Offer valid through end of the month with approved credit dealer stock only.
So you need to sell your house? I have the solution. Call 904-611-01. That's 904-611-01. Call my buddy Bill and I buy houses, any house, any area, as is.
Report, brought to you by Triangle Meat Company, feeding Memphis since 1967. Open 8 to 5, Monday through Friday, 4790 Summer Avenue. Trust Triangle Meat Company.
Sports 56 traffic.
Good afternoon. MPD is working with a couple of accidents. The biggest delay remains over here on 40 eastbound at Covington Pike. They started repaving yesterday, and it was a mess yesterday and again today. 40 eastbound at Covington Pike. It's got heavier 240, especially coming past Mill Branch all the way out to Bill Morris Parkway. Weimer's Jewelry, your diamond engagement ring headquarters. Go by and see David and his family at Weimer's Jewelry on Highway 64. I'm Commander Chuck with your on-time traffic.
We're back into Sports Time. Bryant and Brett with you as we got about 30 minutes left in today's show. Couple things to get to during what's trending on the baseball front very quickly. We've got some postponements. The Braves are postponed tonight in Philadelphia against the Phillies. Cardinals in a delay right now because of the rain. It sounds like they'll go about 6:05 or so. So it's good for us, Brett. We don't have to miss any of the action, be done with the show, and can get in front of a television.
Hope we get it in. Heard the TV announce crew last night. I think Chip Carey and Brad Thompson are great.
Yeah, they're good. Yeah, they're really good.
Got really good vibe and chemistry with each other. Chip Carey's such a good guy. You could probably put a mop in there and could get along with him, and it'd be fun to do it. But they're talking about there's not a hole in either schedule the rest of the way if they don't get these in.
Yikes! Well, maybe it might be a long night then to try to fit this one in. But
Brian, here's another one from bygone era that we got really wrong. I think it was just American League. I could be wrong about that. There was a time that no inning could start after midnight.
Love that. I love that. That's great. It's great. Yeah, I gotta wrap it up. We can't start this late.
And a lot of those first pitches were at 8 local time.
Wow. So yeah, not a ton of wiggle room there if you get some rain in. But that is an interesting rule. We've made ground on some things, I think. We've also gone back on some things, but there's definitely both. I mentioned at the end of that segment seeing some trade opportunities, some guys that people are pointing out that they want the Grizzlies to go for. I saw a couple people, it was put out that P.J. Washington might be a guy that Dallas looks to move this year. Maybe that's a guy that the Grizzlies take a look at. I certainly wouldn't mind that. I love P.J. Washington.
Who would be in a deal for P.J. Washington?
I don't know. I don't know what his contract looks like, so I really don't know. I don't think it would.
That's not Jaron straight up for P.J. Washington.
No, certainly not. Certainly not. That would be something you probably picks a couple of those smaller contracts that you can work. I don't know what his contract looks like, but there are ways to, I'm sure, make that trade happen without trading any of the big three guys. But then I saw this story the story was actually sent to me over from the Bleacher Report. Dan Favale had NBA teams that could make surprise trade push for Giannis Antetokounmpo, and this was the list of teams, the 5 teams that he listed in his story: the Detroit Pistons, Philadelphia 76ers, Portland Trail Blazers, Toronto Raptors, and the Memphis Grizzlies. Notable, 3 of those 5 teams are in the Eastern Conference. We've heard some rumors that Giannis, whether it's staying with the Bucks or going somewhere else, would like to stay in the Eastern Conference. But 3 of those 5 in the Eastern. For the Grizzlies, Dan kind of wrote that, this is what he said: constructing a package around Jaren Jackson Jr. or Ja Morant has to at least get the Bucks' attention. Having Damian Lillard could dissuade Milwaukee from looking at Morant. From there, Memphis's proposal can put together a bunch of first-round picks. The team has all of its own after this year, and some combination of younger players like Zach Edey, Jalen Wells, Cam Spencer, and or G.G. Jackson. The Grizzlies have the additional salaries to make the rest of the math work. So, it seems like a plausible way that the Grizzlies could make a move to get in the Giannis sweepstakes. It would take a lot. It would take one of those, big time contracts, one of those big time players, and probably a couple young guys, certainly a lot of picks. The Grizzlies could make it work, and at least one person nationally thinks that the Grizzlies are a team to look out for in the race for Giannis Antetokounmpo.
Bring it on.
Yeah, no, I would love that. I would be all for getting Giannis to Memphis. However, you got to make it work.
Giannis Antetokounmpo comes to Memphis. First two places he has to go eat, with the Greek history of the Rendezvous and of Jim's Place.
Oh yeah, well, and Giannis loves Memphis food. I mean, it feels like all of his post games in Memphis, he's eating something. So I don't think he would mind playing in Memphis. But
He would have to enjoy that Greek heritage.
Absolutely.
There. Our friend Bill Pender did a list. It's list season, and we love
Sure
Bill.
is.
And he's going to be with us at 3:30 on Thursday, starting, probably about the week after the golf tournament, about the 20th or so of August. I had to look at the calendar for the exact date. But he did his list of coaches, 136, 135 and 136 are both of the newbies to FBS. Ryan Carty at Delaware, 135. Ryan Beard at Missouri State, 136. Had Zach Kitely, the new coach at FAU, at 132. Had Trey Lamb, the new coach at Tulsa, at 131. Scott, is it Abel or Abel? Abel at 128 for Rice. We're not going to spend a whole lot of time on those, but we're going to work down the list. And the first one that really jumped out at me, I think Major Applewhite at South Alabama at 98, it stood out. Butch Jones at Arkansas State, 96, sure stood out. Clay Helton, a mighty fine football coach at Georgia Southern, 90. But Ryan Silverfield at 84, I respectfully disagree with Bill on him being that low, and I disagree with him being that low and Sam Pittman being ranked 49th. And I simply ask this question. You reverse everything, and you put Ryan Silverfield at Arkansas for the last 5 years, and you put Sam Pittman at Memphis for the last 5 years, and what kind of jobs would they do?
That's a great question. I have faith in Ryan Silverfield doing a good job wherever he's at.
And if Sam Pittman can't do any more than he's done at Arkansas, how would he at any place outside of the SEC?
That's a good point.
You give all that budget and all that to Ryan Silverfield, I think he would have done just as much, about the same at worst at Arkansas, or maybe even better. And we're going to see it play out on the field. They're going to play on the field of play in about 3 months. Not that one matchup is an indicator of coaching prowess, but that's going to be about all we have to go by, and what they've done in the respective jobs. Brian, if Ryan Silverfield pulls the upset, and it will be an upset, I think they'll be underdog, and that's technically an upset. I know they'll be at home too. But if he beats Sam Pittman, I think on the Arkansas list, Ryan Silverfield should be at or near the top for successor to Sam Pittman.
Whoa.
Yeah, I do.
Holy cow. I mean, that would be that'd be huge. I mean, that would be that'd be bold for Arkansas.
And wouldn't that be a splash year, better hire, almost anything's better than Chad Morris.
Well, yeah.
And kind of that one good year, and it wasn't that great at SMU. And Sam Pittman had never been a head coach. Wouldn't Ryan Silverfield at an Arkansas presser immediately have more chops than his two immediate predecessors?
Yeah, he sure would, I think. But that's also another good point by you. He would certainly win the press conference. That is one of Ryan Silverfield's best qualities, is when he talks about his team, when he talks about his guys, when he gets in front of a microphone, he's electric and he gets you excited about the team. That'd be bold by Arkansas. But, hey, I mean, they're going to see him firsthand in that matchup, see how he coaches, see how his team plays for him. And if there is a question down the road about the future of Sam Pittman, hey, you've done a little bit of homework on Ryan Silverfield.
And please, I want both sides of this. I want both Arkansas fans and Memphis fans to hear me completely out in this dialogue, in this conversation. that we're having right now. Don't freak out at the next comment I'm going to make. First of all, I don't share the opinion of the next comment I'm going to make.
Okay.
I'm simply stating fact. There will be Arkansas fans, there are right now, saying it's gotten this bad that we got to hire the Memphis coach.
Yeah.
Well, what other Memphis coach did they want a few years ago?
Yeah,
they wanted Mike Norvell.
That's true. Yeah.
Mike Norvell turned them flatly down.
Yeah, that's right. That's a good point.
And Sam and Ryan Sewerfield would be better than the two coaches that they've hired in the last two coaching rounds in Sam Pittman and in Chad Morris. And for Arkansas, it has moved past that kind of haughty times of, you mean we're stuck with fill in the blank guy.
Sure. Yeah. No, I mean, things are not the same at Arkansas as they were.
And haven't been.
No, I mean, it's been a while, and something's got to change this year. I think we both, were a little surprised when Sam Pittman kept his job after last year.
I was frankly 2 years ago.
Sure, yeah.
After the fourth year, I couldn't believe he got the fifth.
Go back a little further. Yeah, no, you're absolutely right. And so, look, I mean, it's got to be a big year for Sam Pittman, and I do think in the 40s is a little too high, way too high for Sam Pittman on a coaching list.
He's one spot ahead of Brent Key at Georgia Tech. Give me Brent Key.
Oh, yeah.
Any day of the week over. Shane Beamer at 40, Deion Sanders at 39, Matt Rule at 36.
Yeah, I mean,
throw some out. You think Mike Norvell at 28?
Yeah,
I mean, 1 year really did a number on him.
No, it certainly did. How about this? Let's go all the way back to the 100s. Trent Dilfer going up 10 spots, moving up 10 spots after we all thought he was going to be fired. We were all shocked.
What did he do to move up?
Talk about coaches that we were shocked didn't get fired. Sam Pittman and Trent Dilfer.
And coaches that were fired by Arkansas.
That's right.
Big Brett Bielema with 1T at 25.
How about that? I mean, cracking in the top 25. I love it. He's the one that has you blocked on Twitter, right?
He does, and I don't know why. We did fine. That's got to be a GA.
Oh, yeah, no, it's definitely not him doing it. I do not believe. Top 5 in this list.
Bill Rob and I, we had him on, and I swear we brought him on. I said, Coach, 2 things I love about you. Love the first name, add a T, and love the hot wife. He fell out dying, laughing.
I just don't know how you can get on the bad side.
And then I get blocked by him.
Oh, man, yeah, had to have been. Maybe
I'm blocked by Petrino, too.
Well,
that might be more in play.
Well, I don't know your history on that one, but
and blocked by John Daly, and that's definitely.
Well,
I don't blame him. No. I would block if I'm John Daly. I'd block me too.
Well, so out of the 3, that one is the most in play for being blocked.
Rhett Lashley at 23. That will be a popular name in Arkansas lists.
Oh, definitely will be. It absolutely will be, and I think a good
probably
spot
at the
for
top.
him. Yeah, no, I mean that's got to be the big
from
name.
Up there.
Oh yeah, and look,
nominally played there. He was a backup, but
sure,
he was there.
Exactly, was there. So that will definitely get a lot of buzz. How about one spot in front of him? Former Memphis assistant Kenny Dillingham in the top 25 after his year last year.
What a job he did. And they are saying, look out, he's running it back again this year without big old John Riggin Scatterboo.
Well, we talked about it when we were looking at all of those win totals. And Arizona State's, I mean, you knew it was going to go up, but I mean, it jumped up. And it was just incredible to see how far it had jumped up. Looking at Bill's top 5, number 5, Steve Sarkisian, 4, Notre Dame's Marcus Freeman, 3, Dabo Sweeney, 2, Ryan Day, and number 1, Kirby Smart.
I say nailed. And on these lists, get 1 through 5 better than you do 131 through 136.
Look, we have this conversation with Bill. We have this conversation with Kevin Sweeney when he does his rankings for all the teams in college basketball, which is a ton more teams than this is. I am not going to judge you for me getting mad at you for having number 111 wrong. I'm not...
In 79 wrong.
Exactly. I'm not going to get frustrated that you have Trent Dilfer moving up in the 100s.
Get the top 5 right.
Exactly. Get the top 5. Let's have a good top 25, and I can get behind it. Bill does a phenomenal job over at the Sporting News, and we love having him on. Lane Kiffin, he's in the top 10 at number 10, right in front of Josh Heupel. So
there's only one thing lacking for Lane Kiffin's resume and body of work as head coach. We know what it is, getting to the playoffs.
Absolutely. And so we'll see another year.
Trust me, I lose sleep over it.
Well,
over last year.
Sure, he loses sleep on it as well, and we'll
Kills
see
us all.
if he can do it this year. And again, going back to something we talked about way earlier in the show, I like his idea. I like your idea of, look, if we're gonna have a playoff, let's just take and kind of what we were talking about with Brent Beard yesterday. If you're going to make this TV show every single week where we're doing the top 25, why are we throwing that out at the end of the season? Let's just go top 16 of those teams and let's run the playoffs. Let's do it. I mean,
let's just have a little common sense, and everything doesn't have to be promoted.
No, certainly not. But everyone's got to have their spot, and we know all these conferences are fighting for their protected spots in the playoff. Well, let's go ahead and get to our final break of the day, and when we return, we're gonna wrap up today's show with Crunch Time.
Start your day with Sports 56 Mornings with Greg Gaston and Eli Savoy. Weekday mornings from 7 to 10. Right here on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
If you hit the number on your scales, you'll love 901-436-0272, 436-0272 for Millington Weight Loss and Wellness, 436-0272 for GLP-1 and NAD+ injections, and Evolve X. Evolve X melts fat, tightens skin, and works muscles. Evolve X is safer, more affordable than surgery, and it's non-invasive. Contact Wellness Manager Aaron Chesty, 901-436-0272.
Hi, this is Troy Five Ash, owner of Five Ash Roofing. Did you know there are so many roofing companies in Memphis that I don't even know them all? So that begs the question, which one should you choose? So I thought I'd give you a little background about me. My grandfather was a World War II Marine. My father worked for the University of Memphis for nearly 30 years. My mother, a pianist at Raleigh Baptist Church. Seems like forever. I went to Brownsville Road, Craigmont, and Bartlett High School, class of 81. We support the local school systems, youth athletics, and believe in what St. Jude and Le Bonheur stand for. I'm a Tiger and Grizz fan. The point? Memphis is my home. Five Ash Roofing will be around if you ever have a problem with the service we provide. Five Ash Roofing, fair, honest, and ethical, with deep local ties in our community. 367-0050 or memphisroofer.com.
Five Ash Roofing is what we do. We're here for you.
This is Joe Cordell of Cordell & Cordell. Cordell & Cordell is the largest family law firm in the country, with over 35 years of helping clients navigate divorce. That does give us certain advantages, for example, in focus and resources. But being big doesn't mean less personal or less local. Our attorneys live and work in your community, and as neighbors, they understand the challenges your families face. If you're a guy facing divorce, remember, Cordell & Cordell, a partner you can count on. Visit CordellCordell.com to schedule your consultation.
Wally Hatchet serves breakfast all day and Southern comfort food for lunch. Hatchet fans love our huge omelet, breakfast Sammys, scrambles, and chicken and waffles. For lunch, check out the Mississippi pot roast, chicken fried steak, grilled meatloaf are one of our best-selling burgers, lipstick on a cow. Pickup, delivery, and catering are also available. Visit WallyHatchets.com to order online. Wally Hatchets is located at 6439 Summer Avenue and open from 7 a.m. to 2 p.m. Tuesday through Sunday. Wally Hatchets. Count your blessings, not your calories.
So you need to sell your house? I have the solution. Call 904-611-01. That's 904-611-01. Call my buddy Bill and I buy houses, any house, any area, as is. It's literally as simple as that. Just pick up your phone, call 904-611-01. That's 904-611-01. Call my buddy Bill and I buy houses. Guaranteed to close in 5 days. If you need to sell your house fast, call Bill 904-611-01. Bill and I buy houses.
This is pretty cool, and we're just getting started, so.
Spanning the globe.
Go crazy, folks! Go crazy!
This is Geraldo. It is Crunch Time. You are looking live in have you seen anything like that?
It's obviously crunch time.
Hammer, nail, coffin. This baby is over.
Well, Brett, what I learned today, so many quotes coming out of Destin and their spring meetings, and we just looked at those coaching rankings. Coach number 9 on this list, Brian Kelly, had some comments earlier today, said that he wants to play Big Ten schools. He's proposed a scheduling model that would look like 9 SEC games, 1 yearly Big Ten matchup, and then 2 non-conference games.
Sign me up.
I can get
no
behind
FCS,
that.
though.
Well, yeah, that's the thing is, if you don't have some guidelines like that, those other 2 non-conference games are by far going to be 2 FCS
For LSU,
games.
play somebody like Lou Monroe or
Oh yeah, I mean, I'd
that's
be all for
FBS
it.
in the neighborhood.
Exactly. I mean,
play Tulane.
Sure, there are ways to make it work, and I love coaches kind of getting on board with this. Of hey, let's go out and play these big time teams.
Same for Ole Miss. Play the Tigers. Play Southern Miss. Play Tulane. Play Arkansas State. I want to correct one thing too. I said earlier about the Cardinals and Orioles. I was corrected by a friend of mine. He heard the same dialogue, and I misrepresented it. Tomorrow, they both are off tomorrow. After that, no more windows. So if it's rained out tonight, they're going to try to get it in. Tomorrow is it, really, to try to get in the rest of the way, unless you did it like the immediate day after the All-Star game. Nobody wants to do that. What I learned, Rory McIlroy not in Jack Nicklaus's tournament. I'm sorry for that. If he can say no to Jack Nicklaus, I'm really scared that he would have no deference. And I'm sad over it to FedEx in Memphis, and that is beyond sad. And those people that were pulling so hard for him back at the Masters, how are you going to feel when he doesn't show in Memphis?
Yeah, I mean, it's been a weird year for Rory McIlroy. I mean, finally, gets out of that funk at the Masters, but then
just
since
as
then,
neurotic as a 16-year-old.
Yeah, and it's just always runs hot, and not talking to
Wanted
media
to
or
fight at
anybody.
the Ryder
Wanted to
Cup.
fight at the Ryder Cup. Now
Whipping
not
it
showing up this weekend. I mean, it's been very, very weird for Rory McIlroy. Brett, what I could have done without today, this news, and not that I've seen, maybe more has come out since we started the show. I haven't seen anything since before the show, but really sad news out of Mississippi. A Baylor football player, redshirt freshman Alex Foster, died at the age of 18, was back in Mississippi, his hometown, Greenville, Mississippi, and passed away. It was described as unexpected, but no further details have been given out. Just really sad news. Just anytime you see any young people like that loses their lives, it's just really sad to see. And obviously it's on a bigger stage when they're college athletes like that. But any time it's sad when we lose someone at age 18. I mean, that's just hard to even stomach.
His poor parents. Can't imagine. I could have done without all the Knicks mania. It's been a fun month, but all those people that were ready to make Jalen Brunson bigger than Jeter, bigger than Namath, bigger than Eli in New York City, please. Okay, maybe the best Knick of the 21st century, but let's stop there.
Well, again, New York. I mean,
it's so big they named it twice.
Yeah, I mean, you go out there and you have 9 good games, and they want to build statues of you. I mean, it is crazy.
He's been fun to watch.
No, he's been great. He's been fantastic. It's a fun team. I don't know how great they are, but they are a fun team. Where are you beaming tonight?
Oklahoma City for the expected closeout can slow way down on Ant being any face of the league. Like I said earlier, I don't think he's the face of Minneapolis sports.
Yeah, we'll see if if OKC can close it out tonight. They've been playing really well, but you go back to last game, and Minnesota really dominated in every single category, but still lost the game. Now in Oklahoma City, you feel like they're going to close it out, but we'll see. Should be a fun game tonight.
Battle of Birds, if the rain will subside in Baltimore, O's and Cardinals. Also, the Reggie Jackson Bowl tonight. Yankees at Angels, and 30-win Seattle late at home against the Nationals. And can the champs in hockey close out and move back to the Stanley Cup tonight?
Yeah, it's going to be fun. A fun night of sports, whether it's basketball, hockey, baseball. Plenty to keep an eye on tonight. But that's all the time we have. Enjoy your night. We'll talk to you again tomorrow afternoon.